Well, welcome back to the Hotel Orloff. It is Tuesday, March 19th, 2024, here in the Hotel Orloff in scenic rural Retreat, Virginia. It's episode number 937. Tonight we're going to be showing some Golden Age comics, or the oldest comics we've got here in the archive of the Hotel Orloff. So how are you guys doing on this wonderful night? It's our deluxe microphone. We don't need no stinking microphone here. Well, with no further ado, we'll start looking at some comics, and we're supposed to have some guests appearing. We'll see who drops in. Maybe it'll be you, because I put the link in the chat, and anybody can just pop in. Who knows who it will be? I've got as the title Golden Age books, but if you got some other books that are interesting, we'll look at them too, and who knows what we'll be seeing. All two of you. Let's see. Oh, all right. Here is, before we look at the Golden Age books, here is only real mental patients like me and some of you would do this. I have inside of this bag a bag and board, because it's an historical sacred object. It's a comic book protective cover for Golden Age comics from Robert Bell in New York, the guy that pretty much invented the comic book bag. These were the bags that he put on those books that you used to order from comics back in the 60s and 70s from Robert Bell. And he would always depict himself in the ads kind of looking like Thor, but with little bees all over his uniform. He had a mask. Robert Bell. So you would... you could get $4 for 100 bags. That's changed a little bit. That changed a little bit under the, well, we won't get into politics here, but changed a little bit since the last election, hasn't it? Oh, well. Now, Night Tiger was going to come on tonight, but he had to drive 10 hours, and then he mowed the lawn for 5 hours, and he wasn't able to come on tonight. But I was hoping he'd come on. But we'll have some other people come on, never fear, and maybe we won't. Maybe it'll just be me, but you'll just have to deal with it, won't you? But anyway, I mentioned Night Tiger because this was in an A-OK from him. He's always proselytizing about the wonders of Golden Age comics, and he sends out A-OKs all the time. He's a really nice guy to people, trying to encourage them to buy more Golden Age books. And he sent me this one. Thrilling Cases of Police Action. Police Against Crime. I wonder if this lighting is decent enough. I don't know about this StreamYard lighting. I may need to readjust the light. Anyway, this is a fake. It's really made. They're trying real hard to make it look like an EC comic. Look at their emblem there. A Premier Comic, PM instead of EC, but it's basically, when you, from this distance, it looks like you have an EC comic in your hand, and clearly it isn't. But it'll trick a 10-year-old in 1953 for sure. No, this is after. Heck, this is really mercenary, because look, it has the comics code on it. So this is from 55, after EC had pretty much been driven away. Here comes another company that copies their symbol. You know, that EC was at least driven out of comics, but of course they continued mad as a magazine. You know, I found something out about that recently. Let's look at what's going on in the chat. Hello from a fellow mental patient, Gratu. I have one on my shelf. You have one of these on your shelf, the same comic? Rob Brown says, evening, Gratu, and sweet book. Okay, so I have always believed that this story that EC Comics basically was run out of business by the Comics Code. And then they thought, well, let's take Mad, which is one of our most popular titles, and turn it into a magazine so that it can escape the Comics Code. But apparently that's not true. Apparently what happened is Pageant Magazine, when Mad was really popular as a comic book, did an article on Mad, the comic book, and had Will Elder do this really cool drawing. I'll see if I can't conjure it up on my walkie-talkie here. And anyway, it was all about Harvey Kurtzman. And the people that put out Pageant approached Harvey Kurtzman and said, "We think you're great. Would you become the editor of Pageant Magazine?" And so Harvey Kurtzman thought, that would be a lot more prestigious being the editor of a magazine than of a comic book. So, he was talking to Gaines, the publisher of ECs, and Gaines was getting a little nervous. I don't want to lose Kurtzman. So he actually offered Kurtzman the idea, what if we turn Mad into a magazine? And then Kurtzman said, oh, that'll sound better, when it'll make me sound a little bit, better as I do a magazine, not a comic book. So that was actually the real reason it was turned into a magazine, to keep Kurtzman. Let me show you what this Pageant article looks like. Let's see if I can find it. I'll type in Pageant. Oh, and then I've got some great news for you guys that you will not believe on YouTube. Pageant magazine. I think we're going to have Meyer Greenblatt come on. He's watching a movie, but he said he'll come in. He'll dig up some Golden Age comics. He's going to come on. Any of you want to come on, you can. I got the link in the chat. And Kevin Johnson from Gotham City Comics got some cool things in today. We're going to look at those. Pageant magazine. I think it was Pageant, or was it Coronet? Okay, then I'll type in Will Elder. I hope I'm right. Images. Am I right? Come on. Oh man. Maybe it wasn't Pageant magazine. I'll figure this out. But I did. The dog wants more food. Let's see here, man. Anyway, let's see what people are saying here. And Comic Bag, laugh out loud. This is Shannon. Yeah, I don't know if I know other people do that. I know Captain Strangelife's got the same. He saves the bags too, because that's interesting. But I don't know, to a crazy person. Oh, that's what you have on the shelf, is a Robert Bell bag. Now I get it. I understand there, Shannon. Then somebody says, hey, Rob, and laugh out loud at Shannon, and hi, buddy, and I didn't know that about Kurtzman. Good to know. Yeah. Then, yep. It's good to read these like in cowboy voices, like it's a Western. Blah, 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 blah. Man, I'm probably wrong in this story, man. These stupid. I'll find it and show it to you sometime. Oh, yeah, look at this picture. Will Elder and Al Jaffe in high school, just acting like complete insane people in the cafeteria. Okay, so here's what you do on YouTube, which you're obviously on, so you know how to use YouTube. You type in Sunny Boy 66, which I told you guys about before. Go to this site, Sunny Boy 66. Sorry, my hand shakes because I'm getting old and cadaverous. Okay, so you click on it. And they have all these albums. I'm listening to one now. I'm actually recording it, that are filled with cool music. Okay. But the one they put up this morning is this Guano, Novelties from the Bat Cave, 1966 to 1969, 29 bat tracks. Guano or Holy Bat Crap. It's it's only had 394 views, so you guys need to get on this. I just recorded it as soon as I got home from work, because you never can tell when things might get taken down for copyright or whatever reasons. Shannon says, okay, gents, just wanted to hop in and say hello. Have to go practice some bass lines. Have a great show, gratuitous. See you, Rob. And Rob says, see you, buddy. Okay, but anyway, listen to this album. I'd play it for you a little. Well, maybe I can play a little bit without copyright problems. Okay, that's a radio spot on KHJ radio, but that'll immediately get a copyright claim because they put that on the soundtrack of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So that's got copyright out the wazoo on it. It's just cool music about the 1966 Batman. It's very wonderful. Okay, so a fake EC comic. This one's pretty fragile as far as taking out of the bag. It's got a lot of fragility to it. Kind of like the cadavers here in the funeral home. Do you realize this was? I've said it before. This house was built in around the time of World War I, but from 1950 to 1972, this was a funeral home. So I probably at the end of this room here, there used to be coffins with bodies and people in here, in this big room. I don't think about it much. People say, well, aren't you afraid? It's probably haunted. Why would a ghost haunt a funeral home? Aren't ghosts supposed to be where they died or wandering around in a forest befriending little foxes, and then the fox becomes a ghost, and then they can be friends forever, like in the Casper cartoon? That was a good one. Okay, so that's a Golden Age comic. How about that? I don't have many Golden Age comics because I'm not rich. In fact, today, I think I've lost a little weight lately, so I'm constantly pulling up my pants, and then today, I kind of ripped the hole right where the belt loop. It's like, oh man, I've got a hole in my pants at work. Luckily, my underwear is the same color as my pants. That's the state of things here. My wife says, well, you never buy new clothes. Yes, because I have to buy issues of this. Now, this is like, well, I don't know what do I know what you know, but this is to me kind of like if EC had done a Western. EC did do a Western, but this, anyway. This has been reprinted recently in some big hardcover book, but man, this shadow stinks. Not the shadow Lamont Cranston, Wealthy Man About Town. This is this shadow on my computer lid. Anyway, this is Will Elder art. Will Elder and John Severin art on pre-code Western comic. So it's just you can't get much better than that. And it's not just covers, it's the interior. Oh, and then after it was a funeral home, Rob Brown says, a funeral home? Wow, I had no idea. Laugh out loud. Then it became a furniture store. So there's an elevator back here, which is great for hauling comic boxes up and down, but it was used for bodies and then for moving mattresses and sofas. But anyway, what can I say, man? You can, if you look on Zillow, there in different parts of the country, you can buy entire schools to live in, and you can convert the classrooms into bedrooms. Trust me, I'm sure the electric bill is insane, and there's probably asbestos out the wazoo. But you just imagine just riding your bike down the halls of an old school, and you could go play in the gym basketball. Just if you've got a band like Shannon, just perform in there, and in the auditorium, turn it into a movie theater. That I was looking at one once. Because I forget where it was located. And then there's old churches that can be bought and turned, and some of them have already been turned into homes. But you've got all this stained glass. It's just that would be great if someone on YouTube did a comic book show or a show about whatever trash culture we're into, and they had stained glass. This is the church of comics. That would be fantastic, but that did not pan out. We wound up here in this historic community. This is American Eagle. Okay, I'm going to figure out a better lighting system. This is okay. How about this? That's better, isn't it? Yes. Okay. No, I just got to avoid the shadow. The shadow knows. Okay. So basically, it's an Anglo guy that's, Indian chief kind of guy. So that's fantastic. I was hoping someone would come on and bail me out and show a bunch of Golden Age comics so that I could, take a rest. But I don't know if anyone's going to do that. Here's 86. Oh my gosh. Is that war paint painted on his legs, or are those like stockings from it's like something, I don't know, Hannah Montana would wear or something. But it's really cool. This guy's got a real heroic look. He looks just like Superman, doesn't he? That's great. That's what Superman's supposed to look like. So anyway, okay, I've got fake comics in this box too. So don't fall over dead, folks, and think this is real. But this, because I couldn't afford this. This is a facsimile of one of the big ones. This is one of the big ones. Obviously it's got an amazing cover, and this is from Roy Thomas's PS art books, and it's a fake comic book, but it's got all the ads and everything in it. It's the closest I'll ever come to holding one of those in my hands. Rob Brown says, I can barely manage my 3-bedroom home, much less a school-sized home. LOL. Yeah, you think it would be amazing, and then you realize, man, what would that cost, And boy, what Rob Brown says. Oh man, Punch Comics, very nice. If you want a copy of that, the man to talk to is probably going to come on in a few minutes. His name is Kevin Johnson. He runs Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. He comes on just about every time I have a live stream. He should be on soon, but he's having a really busy day at his shop. It's the economy is bad, but he's become industrious. I promote him on this show all the time. And I think I brought 2-3 customers in that spent a lot of money, that learned about it, his store from my and also I've brought him a couple of phone customers, Meyer and Hans and stuff. But Graphic Man, Jambo, a lot of the fossils have shopped with him. But and you can just call him, and because what's great is it's a comic book store and a monster store, and it's also devoted to not Magic the Gathering, but Magic, the actual, magic, like the novelties you would order from old comics. He's obsessed with sea monkeys and all the stuff we love. That's what the store, you don't have to go into the store and see a whole wall of Funko Pops or Magic the MTG. To me, MTG is Marjorie Taylor Greene, not Magic the Gathering. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, is wonderful. Just, I don't know, but my politics might be bad. Here's the Purple Claw. She tortured her victims in a web of horror. See, this comic is proof that Frederick Wortham was insane. Clearly, there was nothing wrong with these comics. They're perfectly wholesome and acceptable for little children to read. What was that horrible man thinking? Oh yeah, Missing Mars shops at Gotham City Comics. Missing Mars just says, Kevin, here's $50. Pick out some cool comics for me. And sometimes we'll do it. Kevin and myself, through a live stream, we'll be picking out cool comics for Missing Mars from his inventory. You know, it's like, how can we get the most comics, the best? Because Missing Mars is kind of, you know, doesn't have much of a collection. We're trying to, what's the best stuff we can get where he can get the most, you know, bang for his buck. And that's kind of fun. What are people talking about here? I already read that one. Meyer says, just finished eating. I'll be on in a couple minutes. Cool. I would love to have one of those for sure. See, I don't look at the chat enough. I don't know what he's talking about. This or the punch. Oh, the punch, probably. Yeah, he could hook you up. He's got tons of these 50s reprint facsimiles is what you're supposed to call them. I call them fake, but they're great because, you know, because you can pay thousands or you could pay, you know, $14 and then, you know, go buy yourself a 1962 Thunderbird with the money you save. I shop at Gotham City. I already read that. Yes, we already said that. And yes, all right. Incredible. Purple Claw. What the heck? There we go. These are books I've shown before. I'm just showing them again with the thought that you've probably forgotten all of them. With the hope of, does he have a website? He has a YouTube channel, and he, if you're into the new comics that are coming out, he shows them as soon as they come in. So he'll show you. He probably already has videos up for what comics are coming out, not tomorrow, but next Wednesday, because comic store owners get them real early, or some get them earlier than others. I think some pick them up the morning that they come out. I remember a comics shop back where I used to live. They'd go and pick them up Wednesday morning. But anyway, what I would do as far as Kevin is I would just call him, or when he's on one of my live streams, which is almost every live stream, just get in the chat or just pop in with your phone or computer and talk with him in person, like what you're looking for. And he's given tours of his show, his store on this channel and on Horror Mike's channel a few weeks back. So you can see pretty much his inventory. But he has a lot of monster masks. It's like a monster museum and a comic store. And those are my main interests. I don't care. In the late 70s, when they started bringing in Dungeons and Dragons and all this stuff into the comic stores, I just like my comic store pure. When Lone Star Comics opened, which is now called mycomicshop.com, that was my local comic store. It was called Lone Star Comics and Science Fiction. It had just new comics. It had underground comics. It had magazines. It had new comics and vintage comics, and then it had science fiction paperbacks. That's all they carried. Okay, I'm losing. I love the old Claw comics. Rob says, yeah, the Punch Comics book. Would love to have one. Gotham City Comics says, I'm here. Missing Mars says, I call Kevin at Gotham City Comics, a direct line, kind of like the Bat phone. Yeah, when he comes on, he'll probably put up his phone number. I'll try to remind him. Okay. This is, man. I'm almost 100% sure this is a Harvey comic. Watch me be wrong, but it really looks like a Harvey comic. What tells me it looks just right there, looks like the beginnings of, like Casper. And, Harvey used to do stuff other than just Casper and Hot Stuff and Richie Rich and Wendy and Stumbo the Giant and Race for the Moon. I wish that we sent orange spaceships into space. Um, yeah. Okay. This looks like George Burns about to beat up this Swami. Doesn't that look like George Burns? Okay, you got to know what George Burns looked like when he was young. This is Racket Squad in action. What's cool about this? Okay, so this is what you call a headlights cover. And headlights cover means that, if it was in 3D, what would be coming out at you? This is a type of good girl art. They're called headlights covers when it's like right in your face. Anyway, the cool thing about this is I'm into a lot of old popular culture. I'm into like I've always Gotham City is here. This is about a guy cracking this. Dr. Neff smashes the spook racket. It's about a guy cracking the spook show racket and showing those guys aren't really real. They're it's like it's all a bunch of bunk. There aren't real ghosts. There aren't real skeletons coming out at you in the movie theater. So anyway, that's what this guy is ruining everybody's fun is what he's doing. Okay, let's head on over to Mesa, Arizona and see what Kevin Johnson's got for us. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Rob Brown says, "Yeah, the monster stuff in the comics. Well, I do the D&D stuff too. Have a fairly extensive collection. Don't let I just like, an a-hole. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, the thing about Dungeons and Dragons, when I was in junior high and that stuff started to become popular, a lot of my friends got into it, and it's like, oh my gosh, they've joined a cult. That's all they talk about now. and I kind of stayed away from it, but I did buy the monster manual because I thought it was cool seeing all the monsters in one place. But I just never play. I think I was around people playing it a couple times, but it was like, I don't mean to offend you when I say Dungeons and Dragons. To me, it's just not part of the stuff that I collect. So when it's stuff that I don't collect, I say it's all a bunch of bullshit. That's just the way I am. So don't let that hurt your feelings. Paulo says headlights covers always present well. Yes, presenting well. All right. So gosh, isn't it like, aren't you up past your bedtime, Paulo? It's got to be after midnight in Portugal. Man, you got to sleep sometime. Okay, well, what do we got here? Let me give you the full screen.
Oh, I showed this guy here how easy it was to open these. And I pulled out the tag and showed him.
Oh, wow. I only have one slabbed comic, and I want to smash it so bad, but I thought I would need a hammer.
I could pull this out, and then I have one that says it's a 9/8, and I put that one in there.
Oh.
And you wouldn't even know.
You probably shouldn't show this on TV, man.
No, I would never do this, but I'm just showing you how easy it would be.
Yeah.
Take this out, put the 9.8 one in, and then take my one that's a 9.8 and send that back and get it regraded.
Yeah, that's.
I'll have another
9.8. What you would say is that the thing is damaged, right?
But nothing's damaged.
I don't understand.
I wouldn't even say it's damaged. I would just put the 9.8 in there.
Oh, I don't know. To me, comics are for reading. Now that first one I showed tonight, that one's I'm a little nervous taking that one out of the bag.
I did that with my fingers. I showed a guy that I could just do it with my fingers.
You just did that with your fingers?
Yeah.
And it wasn't damaged before?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well,
so this is the only way you could have it. You need to somehow, this label needs to be inside this vacuum seal.
Uh-huh.
That was only that, and then this has to stay with this. That would be the only way.
Is there a sequel to Stray Dogs coming out soon?
It's called Feral. It's cats instead of dogs.
Oh, okay. What happened to the whole thing a few years ago? They were saying it was going to be turned into an animated series or movie. Did that fall through?
They said that about this other cartoon. It was called Todd, the Ugliest Kid in the World. It was a cool comic, and it was going to be made into a cartoon, and that was over 10 years ago.
Okay. Paulo says, since when is midnight a bedtime? Well, it is for me, man. Rob says, I got it, dude. I get it, dude. LOL. It's cool. I'm not a freak over my D&D stuff. LOL. I have more interest in comics than anything. Have you ever known anyone that says LOL and out loud, like when they're not typing, they just like talking and then they say LOL and they're not laughing, but they say LOL to communicate that it's. I've seen it. It's really weird. Gotham City Comics is awesome, says Dr. Fibes. Hey, Gratu, and everyone visiting the beautiful rural retreat, Virginia, says Charlton 66. Yeah, Charlton, if you want to come on, I sent you an invite earlier. I invited Strange Life as well. I don't know if you've seen it. But I know last minute invitations aren't. Oh, shoot. What happened? I thought I brought Meyer on. There you are. Except you aren't there. Maybe he took himself off and I put him back on. He might have done it on purpose.
Hello.
Okay, there you are, Meyer. Sorry, I put you back on.
You did it for you. Well, the sad thing was, it's like the week after you guys left.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So the date was wrong on it.
You're not talking to us, I guess.
So I've been holding it here since.
Oh my gosh, you're awesome. Thank you.
I knew eventually you guys would come in.
Huh?
I knew eventually you guys would come in.
Yeah. I think you guys are the only ones that I could even find that even carried comics and something.
Yeah.
Some of the other places. Right, yeah.
Hey, Meyer, I called Kevin to tell him about that Batman record that's on YouTube, and he said Meyer already told me about it earlier today. That's amazing.
No, he called and told me about, or not called, but he messaged me and told me about the a Marvel documentary.
That documentary on the Peonies, on the Elf Crest.
Oh yeah, and I've been watching. It's weird. It's like we have the same feeds because that documentary I was watching it the other night, and I'm like you. When ElfQuest came out, I thought looks a little, and I was not accepting of that art style when I was 11, 12 years old. But now I look at it and I think, what was I thinking? It really is quite beautiful. It was just, obviously drawn by a girl, and it was influenced by Japanese art, and I didn't know what that was except for Speed Racer at that point. And now watching that documentary about the couple, and I always thought Richard Peeney, her husband, was like part of the production, but he was just the guy running the business. It was all her. It's fascinating. But I haven't finished watching it. But yeah, guys, there's a documentary on YouTube about Wendy and Richard Peeney. It's ElfQuest. Blah, blah. My gosh, what is this mask we're looking at here?
I got a few masks since I've seen you guys last.
Yeah, okay. I should give you full screen on that. Now, Rob Brown in the chat is asking you, how can I get one of those Punch Comics book? Can you get another one of that Punch Comics with the people inside the skull shooting?
I think that's sold out. These are the ones I have right now.
Okay, yeah, let me get this off the screen. Okay, show the ones you've got now. Maybe these people will call you about them. Okay. These are all ones that I've got in my hold pile, but I haven't been able to get yet. But they're.
I have extras of all these right here.
Yeah. Yeah. That one I got from you. I'm pretty sure I got that one. If I did, I'll show it in a minute. That one my wife got me for my for what, Christmas? I forget what it was for.
I think Valentine's Day you got these.
Oh,
for.
Valentine's. I can't keep track of all these. I got to convince her I need an Easter present, man.
Get an Easter basket, huh?
Yeah, really. Oh my gosh. So that's something, man.
This is the where is it?
It's like looking in the mirror.
Well, this one's kind of cool, but this isn't. I'll save the best for last.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's almost like a Crimson Ghost, almost, that other people know as the Misfits.
And these are the new Dawn Post Studios.
That one I've got a little keychain with that same head, but it's like, tiny.
If you've ever seen Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, that was Dawn Post Studios. That was the factory. The actual factory was making these masks.
I
And then
saw that
they'll
in the
have this
movie theater.
microchip on here.
I was the only person in the auditorium watching that movie when it came out. It was not a popular movie, and I remember the usher went down the aisle going,
It's popular now. It's like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's gotten more popular as it goes on.
Yes, I know, but then it's like, oh, it doesn't have Michael Myers. I guess people just weren't expecting that.
But
Uh,
here's the best one I've been. Look at this.
that Joe Biden,
Look at
that's
that.
pretty darn good.
Wow.
Oh shoot, man.
Yeah, you got to check this guy out. Or he's just a kid. He's like 18 years old. The kid that sculpted this.
Kidding.
Wow.
Charlton says, yes, got the invite. Thank you. However, my camera is out. Oh, that's right. I don't like using my phone. I don't have a setup for it like a tripod. Yeah, that's right. That's what I remember. You've been having trouble. Missing Mars says, hey, Kevin, I'm a gearing up for another grab bag from you. Remember, the older, the better. Yeah, we may have cleared him out of a lot of the real old stuff, but
There's more. I just have to dig it out.
yeah. Rob Brown says, I had a 60s Don Post Frankenstein mask on my shelf for years. When I moved, I noticed it pretty much rotted out, basically crumbled in my hands. Yeah, doesn't that suck? Just like our whole lives. It's a metaphor for our lives.
You got to don't put it on a styrofoam head because that dries it out.
Yeah.
And if you want to preserve it, you foam fill it.
You guys have Percy Jackson books?
I never heard that. I'm going to go take mine off of the styrofoam heads right now.
I don't think so.
I've got one of
What's
mine
the
on
one you did that's famous?
yeah, let me show you what I've got over here.
Oh, what's it called?
I can't even remember what the film.
Give myself a view here. Well, I do have two here on the styrofoam heads, but I'm going to
Let
fix
me check.
that as we speak. Okay, so this,
Different books, but I don't know.
you'll recognize this. It's not a mask because you can't see through it. You could walk around in it, but you're not going to see anything. But I just found this at a thrift store, right? Just a Barbie, and so I put that on it. Now, my wife is a licensed cosmetologist, and so when you go through cosmetology school, they give you these heads with real human hair that you can cut and style. I've got one in the basement. I'm going to go get that and put my creature from the Black Lagoon that's on a styrofoam head, and because I guess the styrofoam must suck the moisture out of it. I don't know. So Barbie, but get real cheap at a thrift store about it. But let me go down to the basement and no, I shouldn't do. Tomorrow I'll get one of the because the one in the basement's like a cool looking vintage mid-century woman head. I need to get the ones that look more like hippies that are up in the attic and use those. It won't hurt one more day on a styrofoam head, but I gotta remember.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the Monsterizer.
Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, let me give you a full view.
Take batteries?
I think so. I haven't opened it yet. I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay, so the Monsterizer is a replica of a 1990s Remco toy? Is that
I think 1980.
1980s? In the
I think
1980s and 90s, I was a snob and thought, oh, all these new monster toys suck. Only the 60s stuff is, and the stuff from the early 70s is cool. And you know, that because I was a snob, then I didn't get some of this really amazing stuff
In the
that
right
now I
spot.
realize
Okay,
was great.
Have any big ones like
Graphic novels, possibly. Let's
like
go look over
because
here.
I've seen like the tiny ones that get
Um,
Sorry.
Lead Paint says, "Hey girls," and Missing Mars says, "Those masks are outrageous." And Missing Mars says, "Lead Paint fist bump," and Lead Paint says something. I guess that's a fist.
Suck it to me.
Should John Goris? Oh, he's here. John, the amazing, famous animator, should have heard the scary screeching outside at like 1:30 a.m. last night. Thought my kitty might be in trouble, but thankfully not. I don't ever let the cats out of the house, so I wouldn't worry. But so if we hear noises outside, we know it's probably a banshee or a goblin. At least the cats are inside. All right, so I guess I'm showing a black screen, which is probably not very good form. So. Blah 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 blah. So some more. Meyer, you got any comics to show?
No, I don't have any more group.
Not really. I mean, I could grab some. I can grab some.
Is brew also a word for like marijuana? Brew. No,
Not that
I could have sworn I hear this guy doing a commercial. So I've got the best chronic brew. Is there a word that sounds like brew that's like a slang?
Maybe it is. I just don't know about it.
Well, I don't know either.
Are you talking about Brew the Wanderer?
Brew the one, yeah, but I know that I swear that that's also a word that like
I never heard that.
people. I'm probably wrong. Here's a book I got from Gotham City Comics. This is one of the only comics that has Clint Eastwood on the cover. I don't think there's many. But yes, I know I should put it in a bag and board. But that's all right.
All right, here's the Monsterizer.
All right, let's go to you for that. Okay. This is an exact replica of the one that's in the White House. It's the size, right? Put the president in it every night to keep him young. That's why he looks so young and spry.
I don't think this moisturizes.
Love the show, Rawhide. Yes, it's great.
That's nice.
Oh my goodness, that is. Is this an exact replica, or have they improved it?
I don't have an original one. They're too expensive.
So, what is it supposed to do to the monsters?
Okay. So this.
It's supposed to activate the glow in the dark feature. Like you put the glow in the dark monsters in there, and then it makes them glow, right, Kevin?
Oh, because the light charges them up.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's got a light on the top. Oh, that's interesting.
The explanation on the box.
Yeah,
Like if you have the glow in the dark Frankenstein, you're supposed to put him in there.
President Biden's Monsterizer is not working. Oh, you must be one of those MAGA people that wants a bloodbath. You don't like Joe Biden.
All right, the controller doesn't work.
What? On a brand new toy?
Wait, we don't put batteries in it.
Oh, yeah. That.
What size do you think it takes?
Triple
I
A.
don't know.
Didn't they have to put it on the box?
They used to have to.
Batteries
Oh,
not
yeah.
included.
Double A.
Double A.
Included.
Oh, yeah. You can just rob those out of the remote for your. There you go. Although a lot of remotes are AAA now.
Yeah, everything's triple A.
Oh my goodness.
Now I gotta open a. I have to open a Frankenstein now too.
Okay, so that's a replica of the 1980s Remco Frankenstein. Except I question these replicas. Like when I looked at the Green Ghost replica, did you see that the replica board is just cardboard as opposed to molded plastic? It's
I didn't notice that. That ruins the whole thing, because that's
Yeah.
the idea of it being the Transogram company. Was they were making everything out of glow in the dark plastic, which was something
Yeah.
new at the time.
No, they screwed it up, and yeah, you
Yeah,
got to
I
get the
have
original.
All I have is AAA.
Lead Paint says operator, headspace, and timing. Meyer will appreciate that saying. Here's something you guys might appreciate. Hold on.
Everything's AAA.
My father's cigarette lighter.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's
I'm
very
sure
cool.
it's like Vietnam War era. Is that still the emblem that's used today?
Yes.
Doesn't it look like a comic book company emblem? Like we're AA Comics. Oh well. I have to salute you guys, because I can't even imagine. I have trouble getting to the top of a ladder. I don't know how my dad and my brother and you guys jump out of planes. I can't fathom it. I'm such a pussy, man.
It was peer pressure. It was all peer pressure, the whole thing. You get in the wrong crowd, and then all of them end up being crazy, and they want to jump out of airplanes, and you're stuck.
There you go. All Americans. Oh, is that also another one? Okay.
That's what the
That's
AA
cool.
stands for, the All Americans. We're
Oh
called.
yeah, because airborne it would be AB. Oh, I was thinking that stands for airborne, but no, that would be AB, like American Bandstand. When you open that Zippo, it's still smoking. Yes, it was last week, and I don't know how carcinogenic that is. So I didn't. Yeah, it was smoke. Something came up, some powder
This
last
stuff,
week.
like lead paint will recognize this.
Oh yeah, look at that. Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, yes, yeah, no.
This is the paratrooper. There we go.
What era is that poster from up above?
Like the mid 80s.
Really?
This
That looks like it's from the 50s.
No, it's from the mid 80s, probably 1984, something like that. But
That's
yeah,
neat.
they used it probably through the 70s and the 80s. This one here as well. These posters would be stuck up in the barracks, and you'd get these from supply, and then you'd tape them up in the barracks, like where they'd be inside of your wall locker. Like this one came right out of my wall locker. I just brought it with me and took it home.
It's
When I was
very
done.
much like the civil defense emblem and the EC Comics emblem, you know. So you ought to put all three of those emblems up on your wall. Fantastic. Well, you got any books to show, Meyer? Well, God, I don't want to put you on the spot. You can,
If you guys
I'll
don't have
show-
30 cents, that's okay.
I know, I'm just going.
That's
I
close
usually
enough.
I don't have another one.
20's good.
Okay.
Let me grab a short box real quick.
I'll show a few while you're
Yeah.
looking.
Thanks for coming in. Yep.
Thank you so much. For
You're
saying
welcome.
that for us.
Uh-huh.
We'll be
Sounds good.
Very
Okay.
back.
Here's from 1948, Real Clue. This is another, a lot of these Golden Age books I got from Kevin at Gotham City, but these guys are tunneling up right into the police headquarters. Yeah, my wife and I don't know how it happened. We've been watching all these prison escape movies lately. I said we were scrolling across a bunch of streaming movies, and I said, Papillon, that's a great movie. I haven't seen that in years. And then after that, I said, well, we should watch The Great Escape. And so we've been watching a lot of prison escape movies with, and I never really quite realized how much Hogan's Heroes is just the sitcom version of The Great Escape. It's like this. It's really close.
Yeah, it is.
Here's another issue of Real Clue. I need to move this camera. It's got a lot of the same things, like the sympathetic guard that that they kind of trade with, and the
Right.
commandant that's kind of put upon by his superiors, and he's really not that bad a guy. He's just
Right.
just
Well, I think
frustrated, and it's just a lot of the same stuff.
Stalag 17 was a lot like Hogan's Heroes as
Yeah,
well.
that's another one. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see what people are saying. Lead Paint said all Americans because that was the first division with soldiers from every state. And Dr. Five says the airborne display is very cool. Thank you for your service, Meyer. Lead Paint says I was the reenlistment NCO for my battalion. I had stacks of all those posters.
Yep.
Midnight Express is awesome. John Corris just had because we're talking about. Yeah, I don't know if that would be a fun movie. Hey, let's watch this one tonight on tape.
Oh, hey, remind me to tell you about the frames.
Oh yeah, you're going to show some frames. Let me. I thought AA stood for Army Airborne. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I probably thought. Lead Paint not on the 82nd patch. All American. Charlton says I thought Stalag 17 was Hogan's Heroes. Listen to me, I can't pronounce the word. I noticed on the last live stream I'm saying Segu instead of Segway. It's like, and I said it twice. It's like you're. Well, I don't think I've ever said that word before in my life in my defense. So, but I'll at least apologize for it. Okay.
Was somebody showing one of these?
Oh man, look at that. That looks like it's really actually tiny though. What's the scale of that?
Was somebody showing one of these recently?
We were showing, I think Myers showed on the last one, a motorcycle. And I said, it reminded me of the monster ones that you were looking for.
Oh yeah. I didn't get to see it. I heard you.
Is that what happened, Meyer? That's my recollection. See, if you walked into a comic store that looked like this instead of a bunch of Funko Pops, we would all poop our diapers.
Try not to.
Rob Brown. Okay, I got a bid on a copy of Punch Comics 12 on eBay. Don't snipe me, guys. LOL. What, a real one? Or a facsimile? No, we won't snipe you. That's real bad form to do that. This is the facsimile of the limited collector's edition. I tend to call them all Marvel Treasury editions. It looks like the cover's more glossy.
4 issues inside here.
Huh?
There's 4 issues in one.
Yeah, it's all 4 of issues, the whole story there. Looking at the back cover there, it looks like it's, I think the original, no, I like the inside front cover. It seems like it's more glossy. It seems, I thought they were more of a matte finish on the originals, but I could be wrong. I'd have to get mine out, but that's cool to have 2 copies of it so you can see the whole picture. I think that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, the facsimile. Okay, and what was the $12? Yeah, that's a few dollars less. What? Yeah, and Kevin didn't have a copy of it. Is that something that's reorderable, Kevin? The
Punch I tried. Somebody else wanted one. I tried and it was gone.
Oh, okay. Then you are right to be on eBay. And 12 was good because wasn't it more like a $14 book?
Yeah, they're 15.
Okay. Yeah, you're doing good there, Rob. He says no facsimile. Well, that's a cool toy, but it's real expensive, isn't it?
It's like $60 or $80, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought it was $150. Maybe I was thinking of an original. What is that about? What the real ones go for? $150?
$500, I think.
Oh wow! Oh boy! It's a pretty cool looking toy, I have to admit. But okay, so
wish I had batteries so I could light it up.
do you have like a Barbie in the store that you could put in it to see what it would look like?
I have Dracula.
Okay, but
I'm just Barbie's too big. Oh, here's Frankenstein. Barbie's too big. Here's Amigo.
Yeah, I know, but if Barbie was put in there, I think her legs and head would stick out either side, and it would probably look cool. But I'm trying to figure out the scale of this thing. These shows always derail. We're going to show Golden Age comics. No, this stuff's even cooler. Yeah, Frankenstein is what belongs in this just permanently. This is the way it should be displayed.
Try to tighten these straps. I don't think that you can tighten the straps.
Yeah, it's probably it looks really good. That looks good.
Yeah. Cool.
And then the light's gonna be blasting right in his face. The light's right over his face.
You have like a 7-Eleven near your store where you could get AA batteries.
I used to have a dollar store with their closing.
Yeah, you were telling me that on the phone, and so I don't remember who first was telling me that 1,000 Dollar Trees are closing in the U.S. and
I didn't think it was gonna be my store. I thought it was gonna be all the.
yeah, I don't know, man. There are these companies that are on the internet where you mail order directly from China these household
Yeah.
items, and you get them for 19 cents. And
Doesn't it start with a T? It's like Temu or something.
yeah, it was something they advertised it on the Super Bowl, and everyone had said, "Oh, it's supposed to be pronounced that way." I thought it was supposed to be. Everyone been pronouncing it wrong. And it's that company, and maybe a few others. There's a company that sells tennis shoes, bootleg tennis shoes that look exactly like the originals because they're probably made in the
Are they
same
the same
manufacturer.
ones that they try to sell this creature, and then when you get it, it's real small?
It might be. I don't know.
It's like $30, and they show a picture of this,
Yeah, I've seen those ads on Facebook. Yeah,
and then when you get it, it's like it's real small.
yeah. So, what are the new books coming out this week? Or I think you already showed them on the last stream. Oh, that's cool. Would a Barbie fit in there if her legs and head popped out either side? Like a torture device? Or do you think the thing would close? Or is she too big to close it?
Let's see if I have it.
Or if you have a real G.I. Joe from the 70s, that would be the same scale.
As close as I have.
That looks like a prisoner with no head. That would probably look great in that, like he's been
Low
dismembered.
mold, like knockoff GI Joe torso. What is that? That's what it is, right?
Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Yeah, put him in there,
Richie
man.
Cunningham's head on a one. What is it? Outer Limits character. Twilight
It looks like Richie Cunningham with a outfit from somebody from Star Trek or Lost in Space.
Yeah, and I was thinking Eyes Wide Shut, or maybe Bohemian Grove.
Oh yeah, 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 Bohemian Grove. It's so funny that everyone knows what that is now, and that all the secrets are coming out, and everyone's just laughing at them.
Oh, that's perfect. He's got glow in the dark hands too. This Richie.
I love the smile on his face.
Yeah.
Is he about the size of a Barbie?
No, these Amigo.
Oh, Amigo. Okay. Yeah, I think a Barbie would look magnificent, and her feet would come out one side, and her head would be visible on the other side, and it would look amazingly twisted. But oh man, this is making me want one of those. But
Yeah, that's
Hey, did you
Oh,
show a Dennis
this
the
is
Menace?
great.
Did you show a Dennis the Menace figure with a gun?
Me, no, I don't think I did. Did I?
If it was you, you made me buy one.
Let
I
me
didn't.
see it because I don't think that was me. I wish I
I,
had one.
I ordered it today.
Oh, could you
It's
show us a
Dennis.
picture?
It's 1954. Dennis the Menace with a pistol in his hand.
I've never had a 1954 Dennis the Menace toy. I wish. Was that a
Maybe.
replica of the sign on Amity Beach from the Jaws over there a minute ago?
I don't know, but I thought this Dennis the Menace. I thought it was you that posted the picture, and I thought it was AI or something.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I posted an AI. I don't remember what I do at 3 in the morning on
It was
on
Dennis the Menace with
Instagram.
the gun. I thought it was AI, and then I looked and I saw one and I bought it. How you
Uh,
guys doing?
could you
Yeah.
conjure up a picture of it, just out of curiosity?
Yes, this is a Jaws replica wooden sign.
That's neat. That's real neat.
I think I'll put it up on that empty spot up here.
You're watching this live stream on
I think I'll put it right there.
Yeah. There you go.
yeah.
You know, I watched a little Jabberjaw today, and I thought that was pretty funny. I watched the intro, like the two of the intro like theme songs to I guess season 1 and 2 of Jabberjaw, and I thought that was just such a funny concept because Jaws was popular, and the executives at Hanna-Barbera knew Jaws was popular, and they're like, "Can we make a cartoon with a giant disgusting shark, and we'll just make him Scooby Doo?" And they're like, "Yeah, great idea."
But weren't there 2 cartoons that year that were Jaws things? Wasn't there
Is there
another shark show?
Is there another shark show other than Jabberjaw?
It seems like there were 2. I don't know. Gosh,
Okay, the chat might know.
yeah, I swear, it's like it seemed like there was another one.
I remember really liking. I liked Jabberjaw. I really liked Jabberjaw. Another cartoon I watched today was Emergency Plus 4. Really good. It was a cartoon version of the Emergency Show. You know.
Right,
Really
right. Wouldn't it have been cool if they did a cartoon version of Adam 12 or Dragnet?
I'm kind of surprised they didn't. I mean, I guess it was kind of late. I mean, Saturday morning kind of happened at the end of Adam 12, I guess. But I mean, they made cartoons of odd things. Like Muhammad Ali had his own cartoon.
Well, Adam 12 really predated Emergency, though. I mean, Adam 12 started in like 67 and maybe ended in 73. And Emergency seems like that started in 71 or 72.
I feel like they might be related somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe Jack Webb is related to Emergency as well.
All of those are Jack Webb shows. Although I think Dragnet and Adam 12 were a little more authentic than Emergency. Emergency was a little more like a silly show. To me, it's like the disasters that happen on the highway were kind of more like insane stuff like you'd see on ships. I found these today in a pile of stuff. They're Jack Kirby 3D glasses, and I have a comic book. I don't know what comic book. Somewhere I've got a Jack Kirby 3D comic, and I need to put these back with the Jack Kirby comic. If someone remembers what that comic's called, I'm sure someone does. But anyway, at least I know that I have they little worse for wear, as you can see, but at least I still have them. Okay.
Here's Dennis.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. He's showing the Dennis the Menace. Yeah, that was not me. That almost looks like a cookie jar.
You push
Yeah,
a button on his head and he raises his pistol.
that's incredible. How was it expensive?
$50.
Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't have $50, but man. Oh, it's a bank. Yeah, you put a coin in and he lists the gun.
No, you push this on his head and he raises his gun.
Oh, I thought he was a bank. Okay.
No, I think it's going to be pretty small.
Well,
that's cool. I've never seen that.
That's a toy that would never be made today. It's like, what kind of horrible Kyle Rittenhouse fascist stuff is this? Okay. Lead Paint says, "Oh yeah, Jabberjaws, great show." Doesn't he talk like a famous comedian, or am I mistaking him for something?
Yeah, he does. He talks like Bud or Lou Costello. He talks like Lou
Oh,
Costello.
that's right. Charlton 66 is reminding us of the land shark at Saturday Night Live. Very funny. Yeah, I almost like burst my stomach open laughing at that when that back in the 70s. Wasn't there a Mr. T show like cartoon? Yeah.
There was.
Mr. Jaw was a shark with a top hat and purple vest in the 70s. It was called Mr. Jaw. Okay, because I know there was Mr. Jaws that was a Dickie Goodman record, break-in record. Charlton says John and Roy make cameos on Adam 12, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's right.
Yeah,
I remember
yes.
seeing him for the first time, or especially
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the main character guy. Yeah.
Well, yes, and the Adam 12 guys appeared on a couple of Dragnet episodes. There was John Goris to Mr. T. And then Rambo and Chuck Norris had cartoons as well. I never saw the Chuck Norris one. I knew it existed. I bet it's pretty good. And the Rambo
Harlem
cartoon
Globetrotters.
is what?
The Harlem Globetrotters was an odd choice too, to make that into a kids mystery style cartoon like Scooby Doo. Right? The only time you saw the Globetrotters would be on the Wide World of Sports, like twice a year, or if you lived in a major city and you were lucky enough to have your parents take you to see the Globetrotters. But
Yeah.
they weren't huge, but it was a very popular show. I really liked the Globetrotters show.
Oh yeah. This is John Goris art he's showing.
It's a magnetic frame that holds his art.
Oh, okay. That's okay. So you've got a magnetic frame that's the perfect size for the little stickers he makes.
It has spiders. Jeff made this.
Oh, he made it special for John Goris's. This isn't something from a dollar store. Oh, that's
He's,
cool.
he's making all you guys frames.
Oh, that's great. And Bleed Your Death on Me is one of the videos he made on. If you subscribe to him on YouTube, you'll find it.
Yeah, he's making all you guys frames.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he took some of the stickers so that he can make some frames. Here's one of
Globetrotters were made into superheroes in their cartoon.
Here's one of the frames.
John says, "It's a mini shrine. I'm touched."
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
you
Has
guys
magnets, or you
need
can
to go to John Goris's YouTube channel and watch just watch all of his ghost tank videos. Just watch them all in order. Just binge watch them.
It just reminded me of what you were talking about. How putting a Barbie in there. Remember Weird Science? They did something like that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen that movie since like 1985, so I don't remember.
What was that guy's name? Chet? Is that his name?
Chet was this. This guy.
Yeah.
Toad Chet.
I don't remember that, but I used to have a friend that looked like that.
Bill Pullman? Is that actor's name?
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. I get those guys confused.
Oh yeah, Bill Paxton was from Fort
He passed
Worth.
away a few years ago.
Yeah. He was from where I used to live.
But the little guy, is that how you say a little person?
Yeah, a little person.
Yeah.
He autographed that. He was the guy inside that suit, inside that rubber costume.
That's pretty cool, and that's the autograph on there.
Yeah.
The autograph.
Yeah, he signed that for me. He didn't have one. He didn't have that toy, and I gave him one.
Oh, that's so cool.
But didn't in Weird Science they took a Barbie, and that's how they made the girl?
I think you're right. I think they did start with the Barbie.
Was it a Monsterizer they were using, or was it something else?
Man, I don't know.
Me either.
I haven't even thought of that movie in decades.
I just remember they like put bras on their heads.
I don't really have much memory of it, except the movie theater I went to see it in. I remember that more than I remember the movie. I'm not saying I didn't like the movie. It's just flushed from my brain.
I haven't
Two
seen that.
two people called me today, asked how much this head was.
Because they saw it in the stream?
I don't know where they saw it.
Well, okay. It's almost seems like it would have to have been.
Can't leave it
Coleman
like
was
that.
the
I'll
guy
fix
from
it.
Lost Highway.
Can't leave it like that.
President Independence Day,
You want to
right?
see the CM Punk?
Yeah.
I'll pull it down. You're good. Oh,
My wife was on a rant a couple of days ago.
you're good.
It was about something I've never thought of. You know, not too many years ago, everyone started to saying, instead of, people say, excuse me, and they say, oh, no problem, but everyone now says, you're good, you're fine, or no worries. And she says, I hate when people say those things, because she's from Los Angeles and she knows that that's kind of a thug thing. And I've never thought of that. It's basically like someone, like gangsters, saying, you're good, you're good. I'm not going to kill you this time. It's all forgive you. You're going to be all right. And no worries. And you're fine. It's more like, Tony Soprano saying, hey, that's okay. You're all right. And I never thought of it that way, but she says that's what I think of when people say it. And I say, people out here in Mayberry, they don't know where that came from, but she says it still bothers me just because that's where it originated in the inner city. Have you ever even thought of that? She finds things to be annoyed about that I don't even think about. That's why I love her, because she's hates everything too. Okay, what is that, a facsimile of the Avengers, or is that the one with the Disney
That's
characters?
that Disney thing.
Which you were saying you had to explain to customers that that's not what it really is. Could you show it real quick? So inside of it, not only are there no Disney characters, but it's not even an Avengers comic. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's Amazing Spider-Man, like 40 something.
That's why I hate everything. If they had made an Avengers comic like Captain Carrot, where they were all the Disney characters, that would have been incredible. But no, they can't do that because they're too stupid. But not to be offensive or anything. What was selling today? You got the new DCs out today? Was there a popular one?
Yeah, DCs don't sell at all.
Not even Batman?
Not even what?
Not even
DCs
Batman?
No, not even Batman.
Not even Batman.
I wonder if that's a nationwide thing or just in your town, city.
No, it's everybody I've talked to, all the other in different states.
Okay. And then what's coming out tomorrow, Marvel wise, for people that actually can go to a comic store on Wednesday?
Marvel sells a lot better.
What are the new titles tomorrow? You guys, you got to subscribe to Gotham City. He shows you all this stuff. It's Elvira. Or is there a good cover in that?
I like
Elvira.
the photos. I always do the photo covers.
Yeah, that's probably better.
These are good covers.
Show them Graphic Man's coming on. That looks great. That Fantastic Four. I'm sure it's terrible inside, but look at this Alex Ross cover. Oh man,
that looks nice.
Is the art inside good,
Kevin? No, of course not.
How much is that comic, man?
Too much.
Yeah, but I like that cover real bad.
You like all of them. He's done the whole run. This is issue 18. He's done every cover.
Yeah, but there's something amazing about that. Could you put that in my whole pile?
Let me show you the other covers. Hold on.
Okay, I'm going to bring Graphic Man into the deal here.
Hey,
how you doing?
There's Meyer. Hey, Meyer.
Over here, I have Rey Mysterio mask too.
Yeah.
So what's up?
Just blue and black.
We got matching shirts. The other day there were
32.48.
I think I was on I Love Comics live stream in the middle of the night, and I remember like three of us had like blue t-shirt, like light blue t-shirts on, and it was only England teen, I think, and Maranya that broke up. If we had just all had, we'd all look like we were on Star Trek or something. Like we all have a uniform.
I was just chatting with Eric Breen. We, sometimes I keep an old StreamYard link, and I'll have chats with people, Dr. Silver Age, you name it. And so Eric and I were chatting, and I said, I'm going to go join Gratu. And he said, can you send the link to me? And so I grabbed the link and sent it to him.
Oh, is he coming on?
He's going to watch
Ohio. A blue shirt on.
No, I forget. Talked to a guy for an hour. I forget. I don't know what he's wearing. He's going to watch the Ohio State game finish, and then he'll be right on. So
okay.
I sent him the link.
Hey,
Steve. Hey,
we need to, like, the next time you have one of the big, because you're going to have like,
yeah,
big episodes with everybody, but we all need to like have coordinated shirts so we look like some cult.
Yeah,
it's like that'll be great, but that's up to you. That's the insane thoughts I have. Okay, Charlton says, hi Micah, good seeing you.
Hey, there's Steve.
This started this morning. I like Night Tiger, I kind of convinced him to come on, but then he had a long day driving.
Right.
And then I've invited Hans. He says he's not feeling well. Charlton's camera is still busted, whatever. Right. And so, anyway, Verson, that's a new name. I'm glad to see things are resolved amongst the fossils. Yeah. Spinnerack. Oh, Spinnerack. Tuesday night 4 color fun. Yeah. That's not what this was intended. I'm not trying to steal Micah's thing. My wife's working upstairs in the attic, so I'm just trying to keep sane, man. Because weren't you saying, Meyer, coming on YouTube is kind of like, what were you saying? Like mental, like, what was how did you phrase it? It's kind of like maintenance. You're maintaining your.
Yeah, I think I said like self-directed mental health maintenance, right?
It's just like, hey, I want to talk to people because,
that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you shown Golden Age?
We were, but then whenever Kevin comes on, we want to see all his new toys.
You bet.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing. Really, basically, I'm just showing the same stuff I've always shown.
The newer version,
that I can show when you're ready.
By the way, Meyer.
Yeah.
I am making. These are the Mars books.
Oh, hold on! I got to see this.
Carson of Venus.
Wait. So, well, do it again on. Oh man!
Wars RVD.
So there's the back cover.
I haven't seen it in person.
Oh man! I wish. Now, you can't mass produce these, huh? You can't.
No, I saw it was on Walmart. You have to get it out.
Once it's done, you could make a color copy of it,
and then trying to get the Eddie
could cut it themselves, right?
Eddie Guerrero.
I wonder if
RVD is still available.
I wanted to
That's
get the.
So great.
You seen it yet? The Sting Supreme one that Walmart has came out with.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Have you read the whole series or read some of them?
No, Darby for 35. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna give you this for 5.
Read the first 3. The first 3 are basically a story that would be a perfect.
So, go ahead. But see how the difference in height.
Oh yes, okay.
So they're a little different, little elongated.
Well, but if someone had the same edition,
yeah, that would be great.
Then those would work. But
so I have 2 Thuvia, but they're different height. So
wow, interesting.
They are, and the taller one.
Oh, you already got them in there.
I don't know.
Okay,
but I'll put them in there.
The taller one has a graphic, which is that great image that I love so much that I wanted it for the front cover. So
yes,
in 1916, this is the original cover.
Yeah,
and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but I thought, I got to have this horse creature,
Yeah.
So this is a British type version. So anyway,
what's cool is the horses have basically like cat paws. so you don't hear them thundering
Oh,
coming
okay.
towards you like in a western. They can sneak up on you. That's
Yeah.
and you can see that in that painting there.
Thank you.
Cool.
Let's see what people are saying here. Friar Tuck says therapy, cathartic, blah blah.
Yeah.
Rob
Found
Brown,
him.
nice Pirates of Venus, Micah. Holy smokes. Those look amazing, GM. Nice, Micah. Those are fantastic, Micah. What is
Hey, yeah, missing Mars. I told him I was going to have to do some Mars book.
Thank you guys.
really mute Kevin while he's waiting on customs? Yeah, I should, but I don't know how to work this. If I try to mute him, I'll probably kick him off the show.
All right, here's Fantastic Four comics.
All right, let's take a look at that.
You're gonna like every single one of these covers.
Really?
Yeah, maybe, but I think I just want that one.
Hold on, let's look at them all.
He's like a drug dealer. He's like the guy that shows up in Travis Bickle's apartment with all the weapons. Here, you want some of this too?
Here's
Yeah,
a little
these are
honey.
great. Now,
He's
of
all,
course,
go ahead and put this in your pocket. It's a little honey. It's a little
Yeah.
30 special.
Oh boy.
if Marvel had any common sense, they would just look at these covers and this is how you will make the movie. But of course they won't, you know. This is all perfection. Yeah, they're all great. What?
Good.
That's
grief.
pretty
Wow.
pretty good. That's pretty good. But what I would do if I was Marvel, I would start doing facsimiles of all the original 60s, first 100 issues, and I'd have Alex Ross do covers for the original Jack Kirby and Stan Lee issues. That's what I would do, because there's no, and then everyone would rebuy all those comics or buy them for the first time, and with a great cover and classic insides, and I'd put the original ads in there and everything. That's what I would do. But
Yeah.
You really want this one?
yeah, I it's, you know, it's something great about the perspective. It's just insane. I know it's.
Gratu, I know what you're saying about having Jack have Alex do all of the Jack Kirby stuff. I would love to see Alex Ross do FF 200.
200. Yeah. What is this really? It's just a bunch of stuff you put together.
I found him like this.
That's what I was going to ask. What's the backstory? You found him like that?
He has pants on. He's got a glow in the dark body.
Yeah, well, clearly the head has been taken from something else.
What is that? What is that glow in the dark body from? And the robe looks like it's from a Twilight Zone Mego, right? Maybe is that it?
I thought it was
Man? Is it like
I thought
the
it was
Discern
maybe
Man guys?
Scooby-Doo. I thought it was like a Scooby-Doo villain.
You're right. It's a Scooby-Doo villain with a Richie Cunningham head.
Yeah.
Let me see if he really glows. Oh yeah, he glows a little bit. Can barely see it though.
No, we can't make it up. That's great. Amazing.
Should I put his head on Frankenstein's body?
What on your
It looks
on
pretty
Amigo?
cool the way it is. I think you maintain the original integrity of the piece as it was presented to you.
Yeah, the original artist, you don't want to violate his vision. Alex Ross is doing the covers monthly for FF and Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is pretty decent. Had to drop FF even with the covers. Yeah. The other thing that's on hold for me that I thought was amazing looking, and then everyone said it's a piece of crap, but I still want it, is that Tomb of Dracula with the Lilith on the cover. And was it Alex Ross that painted her? I don't know, but it's amazing. And but people, and it's written by the original guy, but people say no, it's watered down, it's no good. So Eric's watching the March Madness basketball, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm aware that there's something going on now called March Madness. When is that over? How many games do they do?
Well, when the tournament will start,
They won't let you put the heads on because it has different.
like the last
Oh.
week of March. So
Art Germ is the one that drew the Lilith cover. Yeah, just Lilith meant a lot to me because I bought that first comic with Lilith in it when I was a kid. And Lilith comes from apocryphal.
yeah.
So that's you don't even want to talk about that. But it's so when Lily Munster, I'm sure the people that created the Munsters, when they named her Lily, they were thinking Lilith. It's got to be.
Well, when she's
Maybe.
always in the coffin, she's holding lilies in her hand.
That's what
Like-
I was thinking.
like
too.
they
A
would
lily-
bury
lily
people.
is a funeral flower, so it's
Yeah.
a funeral flower. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think that the name of the flower derives from this? Because Lilith was supposed to be Adam's first wife, but she was evil,
Yeah,
right? Is that correct? According, I know
Well-
it's not biblical; it's apocryphal.
According
Anyway,
to
yeah.
the weirdos, yeah. That's how I say it.
Eric is here.
Oh, cool.
Let's get him on here. Hey, Eric.
Someone say weirdos.
Yeah, it's like whenever on Laverne and Shirley, whenever they say this atrocious piece of trash, and then they open the door. Hello. That was actually a pretty good show.
Yeah, I think it's a good show.
And I have to correct you, Graphic. It was the NIT that I was watching.
Oh, well.
And the play-in game, there's a play-in game though. For the NCAA tournament
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just started. But yeah, the problem is the last 20 seconds of a close game takes 20 minutes.
Yep. Because you got to time out, see what they're doing.
And well, then there's all the trips that the refs make to the monitor.
Yep.
And it's killing the game, but hey, Steve,
Yep.
good to see your avatar.
She wouldn't submit to him, and she left the Garden of Eden.
Oh yes, I'm here.
I hear that the royal family are actually descendants of Nephilim. It's just the kind of insane stuff that pops up on my YouTube and Rumble feed.
Yeah.
Just nothing but. And there's this guy on YouTube that puts up constant videos that pop up in my wife's feed that the Nephilim looked like clowns. And that's why clowns have painted their face like this for centuries, is because it's to look like those. We instantly have a fear of that. So in other words, the story of David and Goliath, he knocked out a guy that looked like an evil clown, and that's what I don't know. All this stuff. If you want me to forward one of these videos to you, it's like the Nephilim were clowns. Oh,
But
Spinnerx here.
Oh,
Holy
good.
smoke!
While you're bringing him in, I get all the Kate Middleton is dead, idea.
You're getting that too.
Yeah.
and that all this stuff is that Charles's son is the Antichrist. That's the thing they're all talking about.
Nah, he's not half-breed Syrian Jew. I'm sorry. But
I'll try not to pick my nose tonight.
well, one time I came on Gratu's channel and I was doing this, and he brought me in early, and he immediately saw that I was doing this, and he put me right back out. So I thought, okay, now it's safe
Yeah, I
again,
remember
and then he brought me right back in. And, so
Yeah, I
Because
just
you were
got
blowing
home.
your nose for a long time, and I thought I could it, but
Yeah.
I can't stay real long. My mother-in-law is 93 years old, and she lives about 35 minutes away, and my wife watches her on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and then her sister, who lives about 5 minutes away from her mom, watches her the rest of the time. But anyway, I got to start cooking dinner here pretty soon. But I saw you guys are on, and I do have a few Golden Age comics I could show. You know, it's funny, right behind me, I probably have about 125 comic books, all ready to go for the four-color fossils. I think I can start showing them now if I want.
yeah.
But I've got it. You guys know I don't have a lot of Golden Age. I'm mainly silver and bronze.
Oh, yeah.
This is Tomahawk #1.
Whoa. That's number one?
That is #1.
Wow.
1950.
Whoa.
And I don't know who the artist is. Do you guys have any idea? I don't know.
No, I like the style though.
But yeah, so anyway, and then a few weeks back, before I started doing the 80-page giants, I was showing some Archie books, and I think these are just, let's see, this would have been, I don't have the date written down. I think just on the last edge of Golden Age. It is a
look how helpful Betty is being there for him.
And then here's another late Golden Age Archie. And there's Veronica.
Yeah.
Not too happy. And you guys know I love these Dick Dillon Blackhawk covers. This is from 53.
That's a cool plane.
I love the kind of the science fiction meets Jules Verne, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah,
and it's got a little bit of steampunk thrown in. So another the Cyclone of Terror. And of course, these are all Dick Dillon covers.
It
This
looks a
one
little
is
bit
from
Astounding
October 53.
It looks like a science fiction pulp cover. A lot of them, like
Yeah.
Schomburg. Is that the name of the artist? Like, with the
and
giant-
it's got John Wayne saying "wagons ho" at the beginning there.
And Brett, you will be proud. This was in a slab.
Hey, Kevin at Gotham City Comics can open a slab with his fingers. He's
Some of
like
them-
a master. He's
Yeah, some of them, it depends on which slabs that are, the age. Yeah, some of them, the real thin ones earlier on, I can do the same. You can kind of twist them and open them with your fingers.
That was a brand new one I opened with my fingers today.
Yeah, was it? Yeah.
That's crazy.
The old ones you can open it from the side. These ones you can open from the top.
Wow.
That's
This
great.
is issue number 8 from 1950. Fred, is it Meager?
Look how the fire just surrounds the logo, and it's beautiful.
Is that a store stamp?
Yeah,
on
yeah.
R&O?
It's got a store stamp on it.
Where can
think
you
it
make
says
out where it's
Bonnet.
from?
I think Bonnets, Ohio, I believe.
Okay.
Have you guys heard of Gator Guards? If you guys want some just to display your books in, without sending it to CGC, these are better cases. Gator Guard.
Okay, are you showing them right now?
Oh, I can show you. I pulled one aside. Just remind me to show it to you.
Okay,
All right.
Dave, I'm going to go to Kevin for just a second. Okay, well, let's show us. Oh yeah, these things. I got an Archie comic and something like this. It opens up.
It has Allen wrenches or screws
Oh, no,
or
the
something.
one I have, it just opens. You don't have to screw.
No, the guy he gives you a guitar pick and you use a guitar pick to open them.
Yeah, but
And you get
what's
different
the point
color
of that?
screws.
Oh, does it have something to hang on a wall on the
No.
back?
No, it's just called Gator Guard, and there's their logo.
Yeah.
But I like them better than Slab. That's an original sketch right there.
Oh, that's original art on the cover.
Doesn't it look like a photo?
Yeah,
Look at that. So
Wow.
it's all paint.
that looks like looks like the way Biden looked back in the 70s, back when he was
That's
young.
Merle. That's Merle. Do you remember that guy?
Looks like Orton, the apex predator.
Yeah, they're about to do a facsimile of the first Blackhawk. I think they did it before, but have you ordered those yet? The first Sergeant Rock and first Blackhawk comics?
No, you told me about it, but I haven't. I haven't seen it come up for order. Or wait, did I look at them?
I don't
What was that
know.
Mad magazine we were looking at?
Mad Magazine is also, I mean, the first Mad comic is also a facsimile coming up I think in June.
Yeah, I looked at that with you, but I didn't look at the Sergeant Rock yet. Does that mean
I
your
always
time's
think
up?
that's hilarious. Myers.
Sorry, dude, that was me. Sorry.
No, it's great. I think it's funny. Anyway, I rudely interrupted Spinner X.
Sorry.
Let me go back to him. But that's cool. That is I think a better alternative. But I'm not trying to sell my comics, but slabbing, I guess, is good if you're wanting to sell them or something. I don't know.
All right, I've only got 3 more things here to show you guys. Golden Age, at least.
Oh man, that looks brand new.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is issue 51 from 1950.
That is great.
What would CGC say that is? Do you think?
Boy, it's
Gotta
got
be a 6.
actually the color. You're right. The colors are really good, but it's got some problems. Let me see if I can show you. See right there? A chip.
Okay.
Yeah.
See at the bottom,
But that
and then it's got the miscoloration at the very top.
right.
Yeah, but they don't take away for that, do they? If
But
it's a manufacturing thing, do they?
Well, this isn't manufacturing here. This is
It's just
something
rough.
else.
No, I mean that little color at the top left. That's from the printing press, right?
I don't know. Some kid. It might have been somebody racing something there. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
okay.
But
Dave-
so it's a really nice comic. Other than that,
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, can you show that dog on there again? The one you just, that
Yeah.
dog. Yeah. Oh, that's just fantastic artwork.
Yeah.
That is great.
Man,
He's
I
gonna
guess
bite
I
him.
don't remember that Straight Arrow was a radio show. I should know that. I probably used to know that.
and then here's a.
Yeah, I was just showing some of those
Wow.
earlier at
Nice.
the very beginning of this stream. That's a great comic.
My recollection is there's another prize western. I don't know, maybe it was another west, but it's a similar theme where somebody's underwater with a reed, breathing tube.
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I can. Say.
Well, that's just
Finally, this is Strange Planets
Oh, wow.
one, and I need to look up the price on this because this might be some slabbing project.
Can we see the back cover?
Yeah,
That guy.
that is maybe one nice thing about slabbing is you can see the back cover at least.
Yeah, but you could get clear backing boards.
Yeah.
But that comic's incredible, the condition it's in. That's
Yeah,
actually-
9.0 for let's see, it was 1958 IW Enterprises.
that has to be a comic that spent its whole life in Colorado or something.
Yeah, Colorado is nice to comic books, that's for sure.
I don't remember what that reprint. It was like an Avon book or something, right? Because they reused the cover for something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Leadway
that-
is not just Severin, it's Severin and Elder working together, which is an amazing combination.
Yeah,
That's all I've got
Mike,
is for Golden Age.
Go ahead, Eric.
Super Comics reprinted that.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a book. Hold on, let me go back to. Do you have the book that reprints all those American Eagle comics? Eric?
No, I'm just on Comic Book Realm, and I recognized. Yeah, I thought that was the Super Comics one, but
you mean
apparently it's
like-
identical.
like this title super or some other super?
No, they did. They did a bunch of public, or I don't know if they were in the public domain or if they just pretended like they were,
Okay.
and reprinted a bunch of stuff. They've been shown on the Wednesday shows before. Now that I'm trying to think of one, of course I can't think of any of them, but it was all early '60s stuff. They did it in the early '60s and reprinted stuff from the '50s.
These three I got from Kevin's store, and they're all from the original owner because it's like issue 84, then issue 85. I mean, it's just the chances that he's going to get 3 and then 86. It's just some kid that bought 3 issues of it and kept them really nice. And then he had a lot of westerns when we first discovered Kevin's store, and I think you still got some, don't you?
Some westerns.
Yeah.
Not very many, if I do.
Oh boy. Yeah, I initially invited Night Tiger on tonight, and I thought, well, I can just go down to the store, or go. Yes, he'll be able to just keep going. So it's kind of like I better scramble. This was an AOK from Captain Strangeliffe a few years ago, a shoe store giveaway, and he contacted me Monday and said, I just sent a package to you, so it's supposed to be here tomorrow morning. So I don't know what's in it. It could be anything.
Well, Gratu, did you get my email? I sent you an email on that.
Email on what?
On the package that he sent.
You sent me an email on
I
the
sent
package.
you an AOK, and it's you should be able to guess what it is, and it's a kind of an early happy birthday AOK to you.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I sent you an email yesterday. You might maybe
is it my Yahoo email?
Yeah.
How do you? I don't know. I never look at my email, to be honest with you.
You only check it on Wednesday mornings.
Yeah, I that's true. Because I always check it, to get Micah's link. If you look there, it says 72,000 something unopened emails. Does that clog up my phone or
No.
Yeah, it came through yesterday. My email is Mr. Bubble 1225.
Let's see.
Reference to Christmas bubble lights. But anyway.
9 hours ago. Okay, wait. I'll find it. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that. I'm starting to. Oh, there we go. I've indirectly sent you an AOK birthday present. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay, oh man, that's really nice of you. Yeah, there were Strange Life stream about a couple episodes back. He was showing some Flash books, and Hans isn't that keen on the Flash, and I was thinking, man, those are great. And I was saying before the Fossil show, it's like, man, it's like I don't know when I'll be able to afford the and he said, and then he sent me an email. Well, if you do it, I'll give you this lesser price. And I said, well, hold on to him for me. And that's so nice that you did that, man. You guys are so great. Because we're hurting. It's like for the first time, I guess the IRS now thinks we're officially in the rich bracket because apparently we're going to have to pay money this year unless we get it refigured, or if we file separately. I don't know but it's like, why on my retirement doing a little job, hardly making any money? My wife has some disability. It's like, why would we have to pay $700? And it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But and then I still owe some property tax too. Yeah, so I've got I don't know these.
Oh, cool!
It's Ready Goose. Look at the shoe styles. This is why the dances in the 50s were sock hops, because you couldn't go into the gym and walk on the gym floor with the kind of shoes that were popular then. So you had to dance in your socks. It's stuff that you have to kind of know about the past. And
hey, there's a new Monster Bash. I don't know if I told you.
Oh, hold on. Let me go to your perspective here.
Oh,
nice.
How many do you have, Kevin?
There's 5. Well, 4 now.
Can I get one of them?
Yeah.
Is one in my pile?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to start a graphic man.
You know, there's as horrible as today is, there's still a lot of cool stuff coming out. Monster Bash, Shudder, Vampirus Carmilla, all these facsimiles. There are a few good bands if you look hard enough. Some of them pop up on Instagram. What is good about today? Instead of always ragging on today, I mean, obviously politically it's horrible, but oh my gosh, are these older issues that are for sale?
I had to order somebody some back issues.
Oh, okay. So there's somebody's stuff.
Yeah.
This man, I guess if I had a Barnes and Nobles near me, I'd know about this magazine more, I guess.
Gratu Lead Paint is answering your question. He says Conan is good.
Oh yeah, I've been told that too.
Speaking about it, Ken, are you familiar with a band called the Corettes?
Yes, I've seen them.
I discovered them a couple of days ago, and you're the first person I thought of. I said, I wonder if Ken's heard these guys.
Yeah, there's good, but most of the bands that I wind up liking are like old bands, like the Suffragettes, or like a girls in miniskirts version of the Ventures. It's like, but there is one band where, you know, it's a little bit of gender bending. She calls herself Sir Chloe, and I swear her music is really, I mean, her videos are borderline kind of perverse, but I think it's great music. I won't, but it's, I was showing it, but I'm not on the camera. You know, for those of you that her name is Sir Chloe, and it's just what it sounds like to me is like garbage in the 1990s, like not garbage literally, but you know, Shirley Manson. That's the band Garbage. It lends itself to an Abbott and Costello routine. That band is great. It sounds like garbage. It's like, no, why is it great if it sounds like garbage? It's like when I was talking to a kid in third grade when I first discovered Marvel and Stan Lee. I said, it's this guy named Stan Lee that created it all. And he says, oh, his name is Stan Lee. What's his last name? And I said, no, it's Stan and Lee. It was a perfect. I wish there was a way to record that conversation in third grade in 1973 or 4. It was pretty funny, but it was so frustrating. This kid wouldn't get it. Anyway, let's go back to a group shot. Here's one of the facsimiles that Kevin has in stock right now. If you want to call him up, we're turning it into an infomercial. This is one of the great. And by the way, the one I used as a thumbnail for this episode. Does anyone own that comic? I don't know if I've ever seen it before. So it's they're in bags and they're sealed with this little literal seal, and it's Roy Thomas's PS Art books, and that's not on the comic. That's on the bag, the sticker. You see, so it's actually, you know, pretty much the way it was. But I mean, it's anyone could identify it as not real if they're. But you know, you could. I guess you could fake somebody out if they don't know anything about comics. Because it's more close to the original size than those DC Treasury Edition things. Okay, what's going on here? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you. Okay, yeah. The thing about the Conan movie, I always say this, is they had, man, who was it that played Conan's father? He was in the biker movies. He was a really good actor that played Conan's father.
William Smith.
But Conan's father should have had the same German accent. That would have made sense. But somehow he doesn't have that accent. And then, so you're saying Conan just develops this accent? So that's not a Sumerian accent? I mean, I would have tried to have William Smith fake a German accent or get a German. He was great. But that's little things like that I nitpick about. And the other part in here, the lamentation. Charlton 66. Horror Pops are a great band. I don't think they've done anything in a very long time. Okay, I think I might have heard of them, but I'm not sure if I know them offhand. All right. I still want to see a Barbie in that thing, man. Okay, so then here's another fax. Do you still have this one in stock, Kevin? Rocket to the Moon?
I have one of those. I think Jambo said he might buy it.
Okay, this may already be claimed by Jambo.
Wait. No, that's the wrong one. I'm sold out of that one. I thought you were talking about Space Detective.
Oh, okay. Is this reorderable if someone wants to be the master, not the slave? Oh my God. This is.
I don't think they print very many of those.
Really? What do you? I wonder what the print run is of these. That would be a really interesting. But it's weird because have you sold many in your store?
Just a few.
What's wrong with people?
Yeah.
If I would have ordered more of those punches, they would have sold.
Yeah.
A simple answer to that question is most of the people that would buy those have been driven completely out of the hobby in the last 10 years.
Because they can't afford it, or because of the politics?
The politics. I mean, the people. I mean, the people like the stuff we like would like that stuff also, and they've spent 10 years chasing us away.
So they don't bother even going in the comic stores anymore.
That was a great issue of Science you held up briefly.
Yeah, sorry.
I hardly ever see those at all.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're sought after. Actually, oddities about the great apes. I guess I should have shown the amazing discovery of pulp wood paper. That's Jerry the Jitterbug at work.
Nice.
Have you seen his latest videos where he puts the X-Men #1 cover back together? It's incredible, and he makes wood pulp that's the right color to blend in and extend the page. It's the story of the world's bridges.
I don't have the patience for it.
It's kind of an educational comic, but they sure make it look interesting with the evil-looking ape and the skeletons and a mad scientist-looking guy. It looks like Fauci.
And the rockets, dynamite.
Yeah, it's my dad, and I asked him what comics he read. Captain Midnight, but he also mentioned True, which is it's like you might as well be reading Treasure Chest or something. It's like, why would you pick the most boring? I mean, it's probably much better than comics today, but it's like biographies of famous people and stuff. He said, well, I remember I had one comic that showed Superman's planet blowing up. And I said, I hope you didn't have Superman #1 or Action Comics #1. I'm sure they showed that image at various points during the 40s. But, he would have been in like junior high school during World War II, early high school. He just barely missed World War II.
Hey, guys, my phone's going to die here. I gotta take off.
Okay, and is your store closed?
Store's closed yet.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to, call you tomorrow about anything you've seen, you're already out of the store. Do that. Let's see.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
So long. Dr. Five says, absolutely, the accents should match. Lead Paint says, I don't think so. Conan was kidnapped as a child in the movie. Plenty of the time to lose or add an accent. But the guys that were beating him and making him turn the wheel around didn't have German accents. But I think that he looked like he was about 7 or 8 when his father was presenting him with the sword. You would have the accent in place at that time, right? I don't know. I am overthinking it. Wilgratu, the era Conan supposedly lived in, was more than 10,000 years ago. I doubt we would understand any language he may have spoken. LOL. Yeah, I know, but if you're going to put, yeah, I know. They should have done it like Hercules in New York, where they just dub over Schwarzenegger's voice. That was pretty funny. Dr. Fives. Nonetheless, if they lived in the same region, the accents would be similar. And of course, they wouldn't speak English, but no one wants to read subtitles. Yeah, I mean, they could create an ancient language, which didn't they do that in Lord of the Rings? They had them speak elf language with subtitles, or what other movie did something like that? Oh, like Passion of the Christ, they speak Aramaic. I think that's the way I remember it. Oh, well, I've opened up a whole nerd subject that's probably, yeah, all right. So, anyone got anything to show? Here's a waterlogged copy of the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, which I guess could be pressed, but I don't know how to do that technology.
That's like the old Dell paperbacks. They put a map.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is Epstein Island. This is where the Clintons would stay here.
What am I talking about? That probably is Dell. Yeah, no wonder.
Yes, it is Dell. Yeah. The Sinbad series, Dell, and then later Marvel did this after they did the Golden Voyage. But the Cyclops doesn't really look like the Cyclops in the movie. I mean, a little bit. He's more human. But if you're going to make a human Cyclops, there's no point in doing him stop motion animation, because you could just put a horn on a guy and a prosthetic. But Harryhausen makes it, well, there's no way a guy could be in a suit because he's got hooves and his legs bend backwards, so that was the one part of the brilliance. This guy, Kerwin Matthews, I remember in the 70s, someone telling me that he was a manager of a Safeway at that point. He didn't. Oh, man. I've got 2 copies of this.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm breeding myself. They're both in terrible condition. I don't know where I got them from. But
well, that's fitting, because so am I.
You're so what?
You said they're both in terrible condition. I said that's fitting. So
okay. Yeah, I don't follow too well. It's almost like this guy was the basis of Flounder in Animal House, but I could be wrong. This is one of my favorite comics, and this is probably the most I ever paid for a comic. Second place would be Fantastic Four Annual #1 from Eric's store. And I think I got a discount on it, but I love this cover so much.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so, yeah, it's a ripoff of Blue Beetle #1, but to me, it's better because there's just something about the colors and the pants the guy's wearing, and the fact that it's called Roly Poly Comics for no particular reason, because I guess it started as a funny animal comic and evolved into this. I just think it's so insane that I was willing to pay that much. I've never paid more than that. I see people all the time. I paid $3,000 for this. It was a bargain. I go, oh shoot. That's great. But I can't do it. Let's see what's people. Well, go back to everybody. I feel like I'm doing all the talking. I don't know. I saw Valhalla Rising. They had subtitles. It was very good. Hello, gang. I bet you're going to have to invent a whole language, and that's really, if Robert E. Howard had done it, then it would be legitimate. But
hey, Bill's in the house. Hello, Bill.
Bill is Comic Mag Musings.
Yeah.
I'm not good at knowing everybody's real life monikers. Just back in 1982, we'd have a very small audience if it were in a different language. Yeah, that's true. the one way they would do it in some movies, some war movies, the Germans would be speaking in German, and then at a certain point, they'd start speaking in English, they established they're talking in German, and then they just switch, and they were hoping you wouldn't really even notice it. Do you remember what movie am I thinking of?
You mean they didn't put the greater and less than signs up on the like in the comics? So there's a different language.
Das Boot. This might be what you're thinking of.
What movie?
Das Boot. Remember the boat? That submarine?
Yeah,
movie?
but that movie was a German movie.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of an American movie where the Germans are speaking in German, just to establish that they're not speaking in. Usually, you notice the Germans and ancient Romans always have British accents, kind of in movies when they're speaking English. Yeah, I don't know what movie it was. I don't know. Patton had the German speaking in German. That was really good. But if it's the whole movie, yeah, it's that kind of dooms the box office. People don't like to read. A lot of people can't read. So it's kind of a problem.
Well, gents, I'm going to sign off, go downstairs, start heating up dinner before the wife gets here.
Oh, cool.
And Mike, I guess you'll be on with Jambo tomorrow?
Yes.
Cool.
And down the road, we'll look forward to seeing you with some great Spider-Man stuff. So
yes.
Yeah.
You have a whole run of Spider-Man, Dave?
I do. Yes.
Oh, wow.
I do.
That's cool. That's really cool.
But, Mike, we'll have to talk about what to show. I could show Spider-Man #1, but everybody, I don't know. Everybody's seen that. I don't think Spider-Man #1's a great cover, to be honest, but it's not one of
you just said it to me then.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to show 11 and 12 because I'm going to show 11 and 12.
Oh, okay. Well, when the time comes, we'll have to get together.
Right.
I have a little bit of original art, not much, so a few pages of Spider-Man original art and stuff like that. So we'll see.
All right. Yeah.
All right, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Okay, Dave.
See, Dave.
See ya.
Charlton's saying that Howler just informed him that he sent. Well, it says Howler just informed me that he sent me that Golden Age book that he showed on 4-Color Fossils with Fearless Flint that I went kind of gaga over. That was so cool of him. Wow, that's nice. There was a time I thought, well, I should just start buying Fiction House in the 80s. And I thought, then I realized I can't buy Fiction House, but I was starting to make an effort because I just love these covers. I love the interior. I love everything about them. But then I just realized, how am I going to do that? It's just it's insane. But I mean, these are more affordable than, for some reason, than a lot of comics in that time period. This one is it's at least it used to be very findable, and it may still be kind of low priced. I don't know. But you look at these covers and you see, okay, that's where Dave Stevens. I see a little Dave Stevens. I see a little Steranko. I mean, that's where these guys were. That's what they were studying. Another and picking holes in great movies. The other thing I noticed that Miss Teschmacher is in this new Superman movie that's being made. And so that made me start thinking about, why was Lex Luthor kind of such a buffoon in the 1978 movie? And it's like, well, they established, okay, he is bald and he's obviously wearing different wigs. And then at the end, he takes his wig off and says, I'm Lex Luthor. But so you've got, why does he have this really dumb guy, Ned Beatty, as an assistant? And I just was thinking, well, okay, you could explain if he was a really tough, odd job, then that would make sense. Yeah. Or he was trying to steal that nuclear bomb. What if he was an idiot savant like Rain Man and that's be a reason he would keep this crazy guy that makes mistakes, because he knows how to get that bomb activated so he can knock California off. That would have made sense, but that was never established. It's just like, why is he just an old friend from high school? And it's obvious why he has Valerie Perrine around, but it's, oh man, she looks so, I don't want to, because she might be watching, but she looks so bad now. I see picture on Facebook and she's like bedridden, and she just,
Yeah.
she
Valerie's in the chat. Yeah.
she could be, what's the chance?
Yeah.
There's about one or two girls that watch this show.
Sure.
I say ladies and gentlemen, I should just say gentlemen. But yeah, what if she's one of those two girls that watch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's all say hi, pal.
Yeah. But oh man.
Myri, are you able to find a position where it doesn't hurt?
I'm moving around a little bit right now. I'm getting ready to lay
Yeah,
down.
holding up comic books is bad on the back. So I forgot about that. It's hard doing streams where you bring comic books up. It's like and yeah.
I'm feeling better though. It's the best I've felt.
That's great.
But yeah, it's still uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I'm showing the same stuff I've shown 15 times. I was pulling out this Golden Age box because I thought Night Tiger was coming on.
I'm glad you did, because I never knew you had that Sinbad. I didn't know you had that Science.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's all new to me.
Okay, well, I'll just keep going here. Oh, here's some of the very first. I've shown these before, but I'll show them again. Here's another expensive comic I got. It's kind of toast, and it's in really bad shape. This is something that, like, really someone like Jerry the Jitterbug would have fun working on. But it's from 1945. But it's, to me, it's a real historical piece because it shows the real what really happened on Iwo Jima. It was really these Harvey heroes that put the flag up, which is a little bit, it's not meant to be, but it's a little bit tasteless when you realize that the guys that put that flag up were all killed, if I'm not mistaken. And then they had to put it up a second time. And you're just showing, it was really these superheroes wearing underwear that did it, with some kids dressed as pirates and a cowboy helping them. When it was a total bloodbath, have you seen the video that Trump put up showing all the people on CNN how much they use that word bloodbath?
Yes.
All together by war bonds, which by this point, did they really need to? Well, the war wasn't over with Iwo Jima. I guess it's Captain Freedom, but it's in bad shape. And yeah, I paid a lot of money for it. I think with a discount, but I went nuts there. I was buying a bunch of, and this was also from Gotham City Comics. But I just thought I should have some gosh darn Golden Age comics. And I shouldn't have done that. And it was a foolish mistake. These ones that have the dots and with these really nice bags come from Duncanville Books, which is a local comic. How far does a store have to be to you to be a local comic store? Does it have to be in the town that you're in? I mean, but if you have to drive 20-25 minutes to get there, I guess it's still local comic.
Yeah.
But Duncanville Books is great, still great in Dallas, suburb of Dallas. It's actually a separate town, but I think this was in the $2 bin, possibly. I don't remember what the stickers mean. They price by stickers.
I would have gone up to $250. Yeah.
It could have been, I don't know. They had a lot of Golden Age, a lot of Westerns. They knew they wouldn't sell, so they just threw them into the. Yeah. But to me, that's a great cover.
Yeah.
It's just like
I Love Disney's in the house. Hello, Steve.
Oh yeah, yeah. This thing, I have several copies of it that are intact. The only reason it's in this box is it's got a golden age board that won't fit into another, and it's a remainder, and that means some kid sold it for 15 cents at a garage sale at some point. But it's still a good reading copy of it. They're going to reveal the soup. His legs look a little small there. I never noticed that.
It's the angle. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, one of I think it might have been Al Plastino. All of his Supermans are. Yeah, it's all upper body.
It's still great. But anyway, they're about to reveal the costume for the new movie, and I understand he has red trunks, and a lot of these people on Facebook are all up in arms. That's so stupid. That looks bad. It's obviously people that have never seen comic books. Okay. I'm behind on the chat. Nice. Okay. Rob Brown says, nice Sheena. Magneto had Toad. Okay. But yeah. Okay. That's true. Magneto and Titanium Man. Great Wings tune. Yeah. It sure was the Beatles, but yeah, I kind of, after Live and Let Die, I wasn't really that big on Paul McCartney. I don't know what happened to him. You know, possibly he really did die. Because it's like, how was he just, it just ended. I don't know if people are born with only so much talent, or marijuana does that to your brain after a while where you just lose it. But he wrote a ton of great songs. That Fiction House is great and fun to collect on, and I'm sure it's funny on what comics go up in value and what collectors all of a sudden want because they priced everything out of reach. But see, here's the thing. Okay, let me finish reading. Wow, awesome book. Buy War Bonds book 2. Charlton says, I saw on Instagram a decent grade of an early Charlton romance for over $2,100. I can't recall the title. So, Eric, your love of the romance books is on target.
Yeah.
And then Eric said, wow. And then Iwo Jima was early in 1945. War ended in September. Okay, so I was going to say something profound.
Fiction House, and people want to sell things that are all of a sudden something takes off.
Oh no! What I was going to say is I piss people off when I say, what if all these golden age books? What if they just become valueless in a few decades? Not that would really matter to us, but I'm just wondering if this current TikTok generation that's offended by everything, that's clutching their pearls at everything, and Trump said bloodbath, and then they inherit a bunch of comics with Alex Schomburg covers with guys with fangs and the J word, and it's just, and they see these bosomy covers and they think this is all a horrible product of the patriarchy. Throw it on the bonfire. I could see it becoming valueless and like just thrown away, and they're not going to know how to sell it or market it. I don't know.
Well, that could happen, but we won't live to see it. So
I know that. So I don't know why I'm worrying about it. You know, eventually the sun's going to burn out too.
You bet.
And all these comics are going to be ruined. That's the worst thing about the world ending and nuclear wars. Like, will it hurt my comic books? Here's a Dennis the Menace knockoff. I've shown all the. Oh, I'm coming up to something interesting. The Red-Headed Tornado. This is just reprints, but
never seen it. Never seen it.
But it's from that company that reprints Super Comics. But I think it's cool. Okay, so here is when I was 12, when Lone Star Comics first opened. This is not one of them. This is okay. What is there's Tip Top and there's Tip Topper. Is it the same comic?
I don't think so.
No, because this is 174 and this is 22.
Yeah.
And I think this is older. But anyway, this is one I've gotten more recently. But these next ones are the very first really old comics I ever got. And they were down in the bottom box at Lone Star Comics in like 1977, 78. And they were probably $4 or $5, you know. And so I picked these up and I was so amazed. Some of them have Charlie Brown, you know, peanut strips in them. These were all books I got in my childhood. And of course, well, wait a second. Wouldn't a book like this? I'll have to open it up. It's okay. So this is Nancy. Nancy spun out of Fritzy Ritz. So wouldn't this be older than this?
They might have run simultaneously. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll open them up. Anyway. So anyway, I just feel like I'm doing all the talking, man. I'm kind of embarrassed. You guys say something, man.
Tip Topper started in 1949 and ran 28 issues.
Do you remember the parody in the Mad EC comic of this ad? And this guy was like, had a horrible, angry look on his face. And it was a masterful parody of this ad. Okay, so this is, just a second, I got to get my magnifying glass. This is, anyway, this is what it looks like. It's reprints of the Sunday strips. But you know, Jerry the Jitterbug talks about comics from this era being so much sturdier than the Silver Age, and it's really true. Unless they're stored in an attic or something. I saw a Lassie comic one time that would just fall apart like leaves when you touched it. Okay. October, November 1953. So it's mostly Fritzy Ritz. It's got Little Abner, and the Little Abner section looks more like a conventional comic, where the panels are larger. I just love this. Then you have the ad for completely realistic guns, a Luger. And now they have to have red. I don't think it'll even sell toys. The guns that don't not just have the red tip, but they aren't colored green or something. Oh yeah, here we go.
There we go. Yeah,
that's a famous one, the Halloween one.
Great.
But okay, so yeah, this is a good and I'm sure it's still cheap today. It's or is it? What do you guys think these things go for now?
At the place I like to go to, that'd be about $25.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what Tip Top is then. This one looks more like what you would think a comic from that era. It almost looks like it went through a fire a little bit.
So, Ken, I'm going to jump off and grab some dinner and get back to work. I got a few more things I got to do tonight.
Oh, sure.
So, thanks for having me on, and I will see you guys later. Take care.
All right.
Take care. There's the little smoking cowboy. See, that's the thing. You got to look up 59 East 8th Street in New York on your Google Earth and see where these things were stored. Okay, so here, oh, look, it's got Tarzan.
It's probably a meth. It's probably a meth lab now.
Yeah, really. Okay, so where did I? Oh,
I think there's probably migrants living there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
okay. This is
migrant housing.
With their maps planning to overthrow the country.
May, June 1952, and it's number 174. I think what happened is they stopped the numbering on this comic and renamed it Tip Topper, and then because and then started the numbering over again. But it's basically the same thing, except here it's Nancy, which is the spinoff. Then you got Captain and the Kids, and the print is tiny, and these are clearly reprints of comics from, man, I would say this is from the what would you say, the 20s or 30s? These I think were old strips when this was put out. And here's anyway,
those look great. I don't have any of these. I've never held one.
It's a fun comic to get, and it's an affordable comic, and I think you could probably beat the $25 price on mycomicshop.com, which is where I got these when I was 12. Is that store? Who knows? Maybe you'd be dipping into the same supply from the same original collection as these copies if you got some from mycomicshop.com. I mean, I guess it's possible that they could. Probably not. Okay, so that's fantastic, incredible. Man, I feel like
Jambo's in the chat.
Oh, I'm not looking at the chat. See, I'm terrible with the chat. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm way back.
Yeah, they've been talking about pulps being in slabs and things like that.
Oh, okay. The 90s comic book boom bust is coming again.
Yeah.
I'd love it if comics were all valued $5 or less. It'll never happen, but it would be great. If Elon says we can take our comics with us, I'll be headed to Mars with him. Yeah, I mean, I think some of these mad scientists, I'm not saying Elon's one of them, but some of these people that control the world think that they can, that they don't believe that man has a soul. They think we're just like computers and we can download what's in and we can live forever. We can, transhumanism or whatever they call it. So that's, I think they're in for an awakening. Let's see. Lead Paint says pulps kind of preceded Golden Age comics, and now they're becoming more popular and valuable. Yeah, I think that's a trend right now because people are looking for things to slab. Pulps will rocket in value as soon as they start getting regularly graded.
Yes.
Some of the pulp covers are better than comic covers. Oh, yeah. So they're perfect candidates to get slabbed. Actually, in the case of pulps, although I still don't know that slabbing is good for paper items, but I could see that a little bit more because they're so fragile that, some of them really shouldn't be handled. And they become more like the Declaration of Independence, or, it's like something that should be under glass in a museum when you get to be 100 years old. But slabbing a comic that came out last year, I think or even one from the 70s. I don't get it. Tip Top covers of Nancy and Sluggo. Yeah, but they were becoming popular even before CBC got involved. I think that's why they got involved.
Yes.
Oh, that could be. Yeah. Good to see the gang, says Jambo. Lead Paint says Jambo. Hey, Jambo. Jambo, you old so-and-so. Well, whoops. Bye, Eric.
Yeah.
Whoops. Oh, whoops. Oh, he was saying, okay. He just, People are getting sick of hearing me talk. Hey, guys, good to see you on here, too. Rob Brown. Okay, guys, I got some things to do. I feel like a drunk at a party that's going on and on. Well, you got to go now, man. Later, Mr. Breen. Meth labs are so yesterday, GM.
I guess I'm old-fashioned.
See ya, RB. Wait, who's RB?
Very funny.
Rob Brown.
Rob Brown. Okay, I'm slow here. Hi, Jambo. All set for tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. The show, of course. Tomorrow at 7. Sometimes I don't even want to say these words on a live stream. I don't know what they'll think I'm talking about. Love those old tip tops. Some of the older ones had Tarzan stories. Yeah, that one did. Yes, ready, sir. This is the best freaking YouTube channel. Says Moonbest.
Good.
Did you guys see the picture of Night Tiger? I was wanting to use it for tonight's. I thought it was going to be a Night Tiger episode, so I was kind of like halfway prepared. Just he'll show a million things, but I was going to put this up as the thumbnail for the episode, but he got too exhausted to do it. I got to show you this picture. I don't know if it's him in high school, is a senior in high school in 1986. So he's 3 years younger than me. I saved the picture. It's great. Where is it? Here. Hold on.
Oh, man.
You remember these guys in high school? I had friends like this. Yeah, anyway. That's pretty cool. Look at these memes I collect. And I got like all these little covers that I could use to create little whatever you call it on YouTube, little screen grabs that attract attracting picture, whatever you call it. Look at this picture of Donnie and Marie. She looks so pissed off. Yeah. Well, there's no point in showing all this stuff. Anyway. Anything else you got got Graphic Man you could show?
No, not really. But I'll probably get out of here soon.
Yeah. I probably should too. What time is it? 9 o'clock?
Yeah, a little after. It was great to see Meyer again, and hopefully he'll get better. And
good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. I'm gonna bow out. I'm laying down. I'm gonna bow out.
Okay, that's cool.
All right.
Let's see.
See you guys.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you.
Let's see. Moondust says Headbangers Ball on MTV. And Jambo, what did I miss?
Probably the cool picture of Night Tiger is what he's probably commenting on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Charlton said, I call shenanigans on grading pulps. They cannot properly grade them without damage. Yeah, because I've seen those graders. They really flip through quickly. Yeah, I wouldn't want to hand a pulp that I own to another person other than me. The fragility, where the fragility of pulps makes it that CGC can't go by the criteria of grading as they do with comics. Yeah, it'd have to be a different grading scale. I agree. Lead Paint said adios to Meyer, and good point, Charlton. Did you see the High Adventure magazines I showed recently?
No, I was having a private chat with Eric in a little StreamYard thing.
Are you interested in seeing them real quick before you go?
Sure.
Or you got
Sure. Go ahead. Let me talk to Charlton 66. Hey, Steve, do you remember when we first had you on and it started off just me and Steve, and then Eric showed up later when he got off work, and then Gratu joined us. But for some reason, StreamYard has allowed me to keep that stream in an old section of StreamYard. And so whenever I need to chat with somebody, I'll be able to just drag them into that. And we kick around the old place that must be like 4 years ago. But Jambo mentioned they had good Tarzan covers on Tip Top. A book that I need to get a hold of is Sparkler. Those comics had some great Tarzan covers, but
Yeah.
but if I talk about it too much, and everybody goes out and buys Sparkler, and then I can't get it.
Yeah.
At least that's what Captain Strangelife thinks, that when he talks about something, then all of a sudden he can't find it because everybody buys it. And he might be right. He might be right. So
I've got a bunch of reproduction pulps, and some of these used to be real common at half-price books, but you never had a half-price book. So
no.
But I want to show you what these are, that they exist. And this one still has the half-price books sticker on it, which are easy to remove. But if you leave them on they always have dates on them. July 2009 is when they put the sticker on here, and it was they sold this for $5.98, and it's a reprint of a Doc Savage, but it doesn't have the original. Yeah, this sticker is not going to come off real easy because it's been on there so long. But it's like this.
Looks nice.
And it's the back cover, but it's got the late 60s painting by James Bama, but inside it's the original pulp. Well, it's not exactly, because they've altered it a little bit, but once it gets to this page, the rest of it is the original first issue of Doc Savage magazine. So there's that. Okay, here's what used to pop up on the end cap at half price books. So I imagine these aren't super expensive, but they were $12.95 when they came out. I think I remember Half Price Books was selling these for half price. So
question. How many pages?
Well,
because it looks kind of thin.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is 2 issues in one, and it's these 2 issues. Okay. But it's what I'm noticing here is it's modern typeface, and the print is kind of small. They have all the illustrations, but the print is smaller, which is why they're able to put 2 whole issues in here, which is 2 novels.
So you think it's retypeset?
It's retypeset, but
okay.
Some of these are and some aren't. Looks like the shadow ones are that's the way they did it. They're 2 issues each.
All right.
Okay. So these are not facsimiles. These are just a different way of selling the books. And of course, there were some paperbacks of the shadow, but I don't think it went that long. It wasn't. I mean, in the early 70s, I guess those are the only shadow ones I have. This one is from Adventure House, and they were pulp. I don't know if they still exist. This is from when I was super into pulps, when I was on a pulp kick like you're currently on.
Yeah.
It was the early 2000s, and this one's dated 2005. And the cover is the reproduction of the Hooded Detective, and it's and inside Adventure House, it's the original typeface from and you can see little printing defects like above the word defense there. You see a little black.
Right.
That's because it's copied or shot right from the original pulp pages. It's just, you don't have to worry about little chunks falling off as you thumb through it. Yeah, because the CGC graders, if you've ever seen one of them grade a book, they count pages, make sure all the pages are there, but they go real quick through a book, real quick, and they're and I seems like I've seen them kind of manhandle books. I've seen videos, I've never seen it in person, but anyway, that's Hooded Detective, and so there's the ISBN number. I bet that you could get this stuff like on Amazon.com. Somebody's probably selling it. I doubt there's a big demand for it because Half Price Books had these Doc Savage books all over the place, and they never sold, and they marked down to $6. This is how he was always drawn. He was, when this magazine originally came out, he wasn't drawn looking like with the widow's peak and everything. This is the way he was visualized originally. And I'm not saying that to you because I know you know that. I'm just talking in general too.
Well, actually, I'm very limited in my Doc Savage knowledge.
Well, it's people used to get pissed off at Howard Cosell, and I read about Howard Cosell in Mad Magazine, and I heard the comedians do imitations of his voice, but I didn't know why everyone hated Howard Cosell. And my father explained that Howard Cosell believed he had to educate the masses, and he had to teach people because they didn't know, and he was going to be the teacher, and people just got pissed at this guy. And it's like me lecturing other 60-year-olds on here. It's like they all know this stuff. I'm hoping that at some point in the future, if YouTube survives, maybe some young people might start watching this show, and I could teach them something, because I'd like to teach. I would love for young collectors to watch this, and I could teach them about things that I've learned. But instead, I'm talking exclusively to a crowd that's in their late 50s to about 64, according to the YouTube statistics. And, which is okay. And then they may not know some of the stuff, but I'd love to teach people stuff. That's like what I've done all these years. Let's see what people are saying here. Oh, I'm really bad at this. Has there been any pulp graded at 10? I don't know how that would happen unless like someone like Harlan Ellison or Ackerman, and I don't think he treated his books that nicely. Hey, Micah, show Jambo those John Carter covers you made.
I told him I would tomorrow. So
okay, lead paint. I will show him tomorrow. Oh, yes, okay. Man, Hogarth covers in some of those Sparkler comics, Micah. Yeah, those are ones I probably can't afford. The facsimiles are great. The early docs are the best. Yeah, Charlton knows about all this stuff.
Oh yeah,
gonna watch more than me. Gonna watch the rest on TV. Good seeing everyone here. Jambo says, cool. Ditto, Jambo. Lead paint. It's exhausting being in the chat. It kind of is. Yeah, it's better just to watch it on TV. The fact that no one can write, I wasn't being sarcastic. It really kind of is. It's just better to watch it on a big TV. The fact that no one can write stories like that today is mind-boggling. Has to be a market of some sort.
Can you leave out lead paint for a second?
Oh yes,
yeah, lead paint. I'm noticing that because I'm on this these facsimile pulps that I'm getting. I call them facsimile, but I'm reading them, and the stories are very good. And go ahead. I just wanted to say they're very good.
They are, and what's really good is the Spider. Try that one. What's really good, Fiction House. We were looking at Fiction House comics. They're like incredible. Fiction House pulps, same company, were incredible too. This thing has 2 books in it, 2 magazines, because originally each issue of the magazine was a whole novel, but it's got it's got an intermission in it with Doc Savage comic strips, which I wasn't even aware of.
Nice.
It just has 2 of them.
Cool.
I don't know if this was ever a hit. I don't think it was because I've never heard of it. Maybe I remember looking at it in here, but I've had this a long time. I thought the Adventure House stuff were facsimiles. Depends on what effects. Hit that for the thumbs up. For Dr. Orloff. See everyone tomorrow, says Jumbo.
See you, Jambo.
See you, Jumbo. Yeah. And then Night Jumbo. Glitch in the Matrix. I'll show you the Adventure House in a minute. In the pulp, his hair was described as being like a skull cap. Bama got it more like it was described. Yes. Yeah. Impossible on a tin.
Yeah. Agreed.
For a pulp. I would think so. I mean, it could happen if it was like kept in the perfect environment, like the Mile High collection, where it's just perfectly preserved in just the perfect environment, like way up in a mountain in Colorado. Here's another one with the $5.98 price tag. That's going to be a little bit hard to. Should have removed it when I got it. It would have come right off. So there's tons of these. I don't know how much, Charlton, if you're still watching, how much of the run of Doc Savage did they do in this format with 2 books? To me, this is a really good way to read it because, you're not getting the James Bama covers, but it's just fun to read it in this format and then have the original illustrations.
I would like that if the second book had a full cover right there at the halfway point. So you're really starting to, that would be really cool. But
these books came out just because they were on top of those books. So I had to pull them down from the shelf. You ever seen these books? Character trademarks. It's just nothing but pictures of trademark characters. Here all the bees are together. It's really something that I think you would love as a person into graphics, and you could reuse them in, I don't know how many of these might be in public domain, but if you write another book, and you need little characters or something, maybe some of these you could use. I'm pretty sure some of these are public domain, but I don't know. And then this is, I think, the same company, Trademarks of the 40s and 50s. And this is more like, things that could inspire you to, like for instance, you could take where it says April showers there. I've done this before. You could replace the letters with like 4-color fossils, and it would be in this 50s font with a little starburst, and you could make it look like a vintage logo. But, it's just all these Hopalong Cassidy logo.
That's
These
actually
would be
useful.
great on the margins. I'm sorry, let's say you decide to make a dust cover for a Hopalong Cassidy book, which I assume they had them, then you could put that on the spine of the book, and that would look really cool. Anyway, that's all this is just cool pictures, different companies. It's called these are the authors, and I'm sure that I think this is from the 80s. It was $14.95. That was 1988. So that might be a book to look for. It's neat. Okay, as far as High Adventure goes, Adventure House was the company, but they had a regular magazine called High Adventure, and I got a bunch of them. Well, not that many, but I wish I had more. Oh, here's some more Doc Savage and a shadow. Okay, there's another Doc Savage, and these are in the butt. These are 2 issues.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine with Meyer recovering from back surgery. You hold books up, it's really hard. People try this sometime. Holding books up, it's rough on you after a while. Yeah, I got a ton of these because they were so cheap at Half Price Books. You just buy them by the fistful. This one is, I don't know who put this out. This is a genuine facsimile, and I don't know where I got this from. Oh, it was from Half Price Books. It cost $3. This one almost looks like what you're doing, Micah. It looks like someone made this at home. It's golden fleece. It's a complete facsimile. There's nothing that says reprint. It's got the spine.
Okay.
But it feels, if you were here, you would be able to see it. It kind of looks like a really good color copy. It's got the, there's nothing that says it's a reprint. It's just as it was. It's just obviously not real because it's too new looking, and it just, but
well, I tell you what, he has an inside cover, right? Inside print.
Yes, the inside cover. Oh, you can't do that?
I don't do no, yeah. So that's way better, in that regard, definitely. So,
well, it's the same basic principle. I mean, you'd be doing it that way if you had the ability to copy on both sides.
Right.
Well, wait, I take it back. The only sign is the inside back cover is tells you who did it. The finest in pulps and pulp era collectibles. So this is the company to look for is Girasol, not Girasol, Girasol collectibles. They were in Canada. Oh, this is Canadian in origin. So they have wide selection of pulp magazines, Girasol pulp replicas, pulp reprints and books, Arkham House, original pulp art, rare pulp premiums, newspaper strips. So they're a big pulp dealer, apparently. I wonder if Charlton knows anything about this company. Probably. Okay, I don't know what I just showed. I probably just showed this. Did I? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, maybe that goes there then. Whoops. Oh, man, that's rough on the back. Ouch. Yeah, more Doc Savage. I'm just, I start going fast when I get okay, I showed this shadow.
Okay.
I showed this Doc Savage.
All right.
This shadow needs to be with that other shadow. This goes here. Okay, so here Adventure House put out a magazine called High Adventure, and each issue would reprint really cool, weird horror, or what did they call them? The ones with the weird menace, the ones with the Fu Manchu type villains. In this case, it was the mysterious Wu Fang. This is what the original cover looks like, but here it's just High Adventure presents them. But other than that, inside it is the exact typeface and all the lurid illustrations, because Fiction House was the ultimate in how would you say it? It was like the most perverse of the pulps. It was the one where it was the one that went the farthest, with torture, and it was kind of like the pre-code horror and all that. And here's a 2-page spread illustration.
Any pulp that said spicy detective or spicy this or that.
Yeah, those are all. Yeah, exactly. Those are a lot of the spicy ones. I think all came from Fiction House.
I don't have any of those.
Well, they're not going to be that. They're not going to be.
Oh, I know.
They're not going to be pornographic. They're going to just like they're going to be like the pre-code horror stuff. Like shit. Like there's a woman with her head cut off here.
Yeah.
And it's probably, what do you think that is? Moloch or something? I don't know. But it's just like
Black Terror.
Cool. There's a house ad for the new issue of G-Men. And I was buying this back then. This is probably this is this is January 2001. And so that's what I'm saying. It was like almost exactly 20 years ago that I was off on this pulp kick. And then sometimes you can find old paperbacks like the Spider. They did a few paperback editions trying to popularize him like they did with Doc Savage, and it just didn't take off.
Phantom Detective. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a whole issue of Phantom Detective, and it's all
the company I go through has some Phantom Detectives, but that's going to be down the road for me because I am busy with Fantastic Adventures, Thrilling Wonder Stories, and Amazing Stories. So
this one reprints The Secret Six, and
cool.
And you can just see how comic books came from these. This one's a little different. These are reprints of The Secret Six, where it's done more like a fanzine. And there's someone that did this stipple art style cover. The back covers are, a reproduction of the original back cover. The whole book is inside is the original typesetting and everything. And it's the same basic principle. It just, they gave it a new cover. It says this edition is limited to 500 copies, copyright 1986. This was put out in Maryland. So that's probably pretty close to Charlton. It was printed 8417 Carrollton Parkway, New Carrollton, Maryland. So anyway, I found a couple of these at a really good bookstore in Denton, Texas, which it has an ad for the Pulp Collector.
Nice.
In Minnesota. And it's Pulp Collector Press.
Cool.
In Maryland. That's their logo. But if they printed these in quantities of 500, they're going to be a little hard to find, I guess. That's kind of a small press run. This one, this edition is 200 copies from 1987, but they probably had a bunch left over that didn't sell. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, this is one I wanted to show you. This is, after a while, High Adventure magazine started to be printed smaller. This is, as opposed to this, it's more of a digest size. And this is reprinting the first Tarzan.
Okay.
So it's High Adventure magazine with it reprints. This is probably got to be the most valuable pulp. I mean, it's got to be more valuable than the Batwoman Weird.
Well, that one and the Buck Rogers probably.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's All Story. That's All Story is the same magazine where John Carter first appeared.
Right.
And this is the May 1997. Okay. Actually, I guess Adventure House started as a smaller book and then got bigger, because this is an earlier date than those ones from like 2001 that were bigger. Anyway, it's all text, and they're really, I don't think there were any interior illustrations in All Story in 1912, which is the same year the Titanic sank, except for that. That's the only illustration inside. So really it's, now here's the thing, why would I get this when I could just get Tarzan, paperback where it's easier to read? And I think there could be changes and revisions. It's possible that this could be slightly different. I'm not sure. I used to know a lot more that I've forgotten. Let's get back to the chat here. According to Lead Paint, according to CGC, most pulps should grade between 2.0 and 4.0, with 6.0 considered a high grade and 8.0 or higher exceptional. I spoke with the man who owns Adventure House in the earlier 2000s at the Baltimore Comic Con. Adventure House is out of Silver Spring, Maryland. Oh, everything's coming out of right. That's probably why you live. His plan was to do the complete original pulp series. Oh, I do not know if he completely accomplished it. There were a total of 181 Doc Savage adventures. Okay. Wow, that's over 90 reprinted books, says Missing Mars. Did what were those Doc Savage books put out by Adventure House? And the Shadow ones I was showing, I'm not sure if they were or not. This was $6 when it came out. This Operator number 5, do you know about this?
No.
He's a secret agent. He's like a James Bond guy. Imagine James Bond in World War III, and the White House is in flames and everything, and he's the army without a country. A war-torn, crumbling nation rallies itself to meet the last grim challenge of the purple invaders, while civilization crumbles about the defenders' heads. A book-length novel of the purple invasion. I hate that they put that on the cover instead of the back, the symbol, but so it's Operator 5, and I think there might have been some paperbacks of this character. I'm not sure. I know I've got some paperbacks of G8 and the Battle Aces, which is another really loved pulp. It's got the original ads and everything. It's just that this is the little small, you got to put on reading classes, and all that. Which you could get at Dollar Tree, but I understand they're closing lots of Dollar Trees. Here's another one of these evil, sinister villains, Wu Fang, another issue of Wu Fang they reprinted from February of 36. It just was a cool thing. Every issue they reprinted a different title, and most of them are pretty similar in they're the really good stuff. It's not, they don't, High Adventure didn't reprint the boring, not that any of them were really boring, but man, I pulled one out on the last live stream that had an amazing illustration where these guys were holding severed human heads, and I'm not finding it now, but if you watch that last stream at the beginning when I'm showing these, you'll see it. This is one of the cool ones, Captain Satan, King of Detectives.
Okay, you showed that. Yeah, to Paulo. Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah, this might be when you tuned in. I was showing this, and this would have been the last one I showed.
Oh, okay.
So if you go to the beginning, you'll just see all these same. Except I didn't show the Doc Savage and Shadow. I only showed the High Adventure. So that's
no. Thanks for showing.
I wanted to give you a tour of the pulps because you're into it. You're into it pretty. You got the bug pretty hard because you're making your own.
Yeah.
So that's pretty hardcore,
I'll be showing my second one tomorrow with Jambo. So hopefully everybody tune in and see that because.
And you're kind of. Do you have kind of a theme where you're kind of sort of sticking to a theme, or
Jambo will show Western, but I'm going to show pulps, paperbacks, comics, you name it. So there'll be a mixture, but with Jambo, we'll be focusing on Western. So
now there were Western pulps, obviously. I mean,
I've got 2 of them, but
so is that
But I'm more of a sci-fi guy.
Science fiction.
I love cowboy comics, but I love sci-fi novels and sci-fi paperbacks. And
are you much into the Shadow and Doc Savage, or you more prefer science? I mean, they're kind of sort. I mean, it's
of course I loved that DC comics in the 70s. I have 2 Shadow paperbacks. I have never read them yet because I don't know if I'll ever get around to reading everything I have. But
oh no, none of us will.
Yeah,
that's a given. It's just it's like.
But I tell you, I like reading Carson of Venus. I'm sad that I know he only made 5 books of that, but I'm reading them in the pulps, and I want to read them in the pulps because I do have the paperbacks, but and 1 hardback so far, but I want to read them as people were seeing them for the first time.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, right down to any advertising and all that. That's exactly how I feel. That's why I'm not that thrilled about omnibus books. I'd rather have the original thing because when those Marvel books were coming out, the excitement was all through the book. It was in the bullpen page. It was in the house ads. It was just, you need all of I think the omnibus reprint the lettered pages. Oh, I was talking with Meyer about this, and he said, I saw this great documentary, and I was never really that into ElfQuest, but it was okay, but I saw this documentary on the couple that created it, and I said, yeah, that same thing popped up on my YouTube feed, and I was watching it, and it was fascinating because I never knew much about it, and but in the pages of they showed the issue of Fantastic Four from like 1965 that this girl writes a fan letter to Fantastic Four, and back then they would print the person's name and their street address. And so this teenage boy writes a letter to her. It's like, holy smoke, there's a girl that likes this. And and they wind up meeting, and she's got all these sketchbooks filled with comic art. It's like a guy's dream, a girl in the comics, and she draws them, and she's pretty, and they get married. And but I always thought that there was a couple that worked on that together, but it's entirely her and her vision. And when I was 11 years old, 12 at Lone Star Comics, seeing ElfQuest, it just looked a little, I don't know about that. And that's because it is a woman's vision, and she drew like a girl, and it was also influenced by Japanese art, which nobody knew about manga back then, and just looked a little alien, and it looked maybe not that professional to my 12-year-old mind. But now I look at it, and it's really quite beautiful, and I'd like to read it. And so Meyer watched that documentary, and he's ordered like a set of them. But it's really interesting if anyone gets to watch this documentary about their lives and how they first took it to Marvel, and they said, no, we're not interested. No company wanted to publish it. And then he had a job like at IBM, and he quit the job to become the self-publisher for his wife. And then later Marvel came around and started printing all the issues in color. So I didn't get to finish the documentary. And all this stuff, where she used to go around conventions dressed as Red Sonja, and then some collectors didn't take her seriously because she's the girl that's always, half naked at the cons. And then Frank Thorne, the most known Red Sonja artist, he was always dressed as a wizard, and they kind of did a show together at old cons back in the 70s. And so Frank Thorne, man, when he was left to his own and went over to that 1984 Warren magazine, he just did his own version of Red Sonja, that was what he really would have done. He's completely free to make it as not G-rated. It was something else. That guy, he's got a mind on it. But yeah, so so I'll do another stream sometime where I'll show more comics, I guess. I'm probably just boring everybody. Yeah, Lead Paint says just to dress up as Red Sonja. Yeah, there's a Red Sonja movie coming out. It's already filmed, and apparently the actress is playing Red Sonja. It's just like the actress that's playing Snow White.
Oh, great!
Saying, well, that old Snow White movie from the 30s, that was a weird movie where this guy, this girl just falls in love with a total stranger. It's like, that's not. But this lady's saying, well, this won't be one of the, where she's objectified, and just, so, okay, so she's going to be probably, yeah, she's not going to be obviously in a chainmail bikini. And so what's the whole point of the character? It's like, so oh well. So that's going to be another disaster.
Well, I'm about to crash.
Yeah, I am too, man.
But you
My
showed
wife.
some great stuff, so I thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I really kind of feel embarrassed because I feel like I was just going on and on. Everyone just like,
No,
oh, I like the guy at the party that never shuts up.
no.
Well, I'll be watching tomorrow night. That's great. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central.
You bet.
And it's what's the name of the show? The Graphic Man Show, right?
I guess starring the Graphic Man Show starring Jambo. So
Are you going to number them?
I don't know. I'd probably lose track.
No, seriously, because it's like a comic book. In the Four Color Fossils, I don't think you put numbers on them.
No,
but you can look at the date, of when it was aired. But I think it would be cool if they were numbered. That would be a lot of work for you to go back in and add that to each one. But then it's become.
Yeah, if I did that, yeah.
I mean, I did that once, and early on, I decided I better start putting numbers on my shows because that way, people that are obsessive compulsive can start at the beginning, and I don't know. That's just how I think. I know I do. Strange Life does that. He numbers his shows. It might be something to think about since you're starting,
Yeah.
It's like Graphic Man Show.
Number one,
Or you could do that, or you could just put the date in the title at the end. I don't know. That's hey, it's your baby. I don't want to tell you what to do. That's how I like to do it because I'm obsessive compulsive and stuff. Yeah, that'll be cool. So it's going to be like a 2-hour deal, probably.
It could be. I don't know. Jambo and I may get gun shy, but I think we could talk. He could talk. I could talk. Yeah, we'll be all right. The pulp that I'm going to show, you've already seen the thumbnail for it. It was the last Wednesday's thumbnail. The lady on that weird looking creature.
Oh yeah.
But I will let everybody know the secret. I helped out that lady's outfit a little bit more. I allowed it to be more, as I call it, Baptist friendly at my house. And so, but that's the pulp and that's the cover. So it really is a one of a kind because,
well, maybe you'll approve of the new Red Sonja, whereas everyone else is no, you shortchanged us.
No,
she's not in the.
Well, see, I'm really getting all these. They're called Fantastic Adventures. It was this pulp.
Yeah.
And those are the ones. Those are the ones that reproduce the Carson of Venus. And when I was getting ready to order one, here's that lady on the that weird alien bird, and she's covered, but it's just the little wisps of water vapor. And I got to thinking, when I pass away, my family and my kids are going to go through all these things. They're going to go, what was Dad doing with this? So I thought, but I really want that book. And so I felt like that kid that wants to go see that cool movie, but it's rated R, way back in the day. And it's like, why did they make it rated R? They should have made it to where everybody could enjoy. Anyway, so I thought, I can get access to the print file of that book and I can make my own and I can, use a little Graphic Man razzle dazzle and make it totally where I could have it. And so it fits what the others. I use their same spine. And so you'll never be able to tell which one it is unless you, look real close. But
and you're just making it for yourself. So
exactly. Exactly. So
it's like you shouldn't offend anyone that you've done that.
And I can pat myself on the back that I think I did a pretty good job that unless I told you what the original cover looked like, you'd never think. I made her outfit look just like it blends right in with her little shorts. And
I don't think Jambo's going to approve, though.
He might not. But
are you going to show the AB how you altered it?
I don't know. Yeah, Jambo might be a traditionalist when it comes to that.
To pen-up art, yes.
Yeah, a traditionalist.
Yeah, as far as R-rated movies, there was just like, man, I could have. There's a few R-rated movies where just a couple of things that if they took out, it would be perfect. like
You
the
bet.
Blues Brothers. It's just a few cuss words
You
that
bet.
take it
You
up
bet.
to the. And then kids could have watched that amazing car chase and everything.
You
It's just a
bet.
few
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
And there's a few movies like that that have a lot of kid appeal, but and then when they started making toys based on R-rated movies, and I
Yeah.
wasn't old enough to see the R-rated movie, I was starting to
Right.
that's not fair. There's
No.
when Alien came out, and I saw
That's
that
right.
big Kenner alien. It's like, hey, but I can't see the movie. It's
No.
or I was old enough to see Conan the Barbarian when it came out as an R-rated movie, but
Basically,
if
all I
it came
did
out a
was
few years earlier, it's like, hey, there's a comic book, but I can't see the movie. Of course, it wasn't really based on the comic book, but it's the same intellectual property. It's just
what I basically did was what I think it's Dark Horse Comics when they were producing Conan. So right after you had the Marvel version, then you had a Dark Horse version.
oh yeah, they went pretty far in some issues, didn't they?
They had one issue where a lady is, undressed and Conan is walking away from her. But they also made another cover where she has a top on.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
I just made, I guess you call it a variant.
Yeah, wasn't there a one of those Dark Horse issues like a Frost Giant story that seems like they just had a topless woman on the cover? It's like what? But yeah.
I think when they do that, they're also limiting, how many places can display that. So
Yeah.
it's unless they just had a huge subscription, market. But
It's
anyway,
what's weird is just looking at some of these pulps and thinking, how were these sold on newsstands in the 30s?
yeah.
And it's like you would think people were more, but
Well, if you saw the movies in the 30s before that, the Hayes Act,
right.
they got away with. Got away with. They
Well,
didn't really get away with it. A lot of people said, "We're not going to go see your movies."
yeah, but sometimes they would throw the nudity in the silent movie era into the biblical epics, and
You
then
bet.
you'd say, well, that's how they dressed. And it's Hollywood was it's like, well, you can't question it. It's a biblical movie.
Yeah.
What was, I don't know what movie it was. It might have been the original 10 Commandments. It's like, holy smoke, we're just seeing topless women walking down the street. I don't know what it was. But those silent movies are fascinating.
Especially the Noah's Ark, where they had a lot of people from the streets of Los Angeles just be in the crowds, and they release all that water, and some people actually died making that. And you think, wow,
have you
that's
seen
amazing.
Intolerance, the movie Intolerance? Okay, well, so the same film director that made Birth of a Nation, which was
1915,
first real movie that's long,
right.
And it's about the Civil War, but it has the Ku Klux Klan as the good guys. So afterwards, there's a lot of backlash. So the director makes another movie called Intolerance about intolerance through the ages, and he's kind of apologizing for the movie he just made. And it has segments in different time periods, and one's in ancient Babylon, and they build life-size Babylon like they're in Hollywood, and it's incredible and gigantic. And there's a I'll pull up a picture real quick. I hate to keep you on here, but it they had, I don't know, did they worship elephants in ancient Babylon or something like that? I don't know.
Probably when they were dusting off that Ishtar gate, they had etchings of lions and lizards and dragons and probably the occasional bull.
Yeah. Okay, so this isn't a matte painting or a miniature. Come on, this is all like life size, right?
Okay.
And you see these elephants up there at the top.
Wow. Yeah.
They were, after this movie was made, and they didn't take the whole set down. You could see these white elephants throughout, all of Hollywood. They were up high. And that's where the expression, I understand, that's where the expression white elephant comes from, as far as something that's useless. And it's like, why is it here? It's because it was a set that they built it so well, it was hard to tear it down. So they just left it up. So that's, I think, white elephant kind of traditionally means, I think, I could be wrong.
I thought white elephant was like two little bitty countries, along like over near India, where you weren't allowed to kill an elephant. And so one country would give the white elephant to the other country, and that other country had the responsibility to feed that dumb thing and never kill it. And of course, it's a drain on their economy. And I think that's where the white elephant comes from.
Your story sounds better than mine. Here's a better picture of that.
I mean, yeah. Now you see their trunks.
You see the people down there, how small they are.
Yeah.
It's just like which is why Kenneth Anger, when he put out that book on Hollywood scandals, he called it Hollywood Babylon, because and about this movie where they basically made Babylon again. It's just like, on that note, Lead Paint pointed out that must be the issue I have. I remember seeing that Frost Giant's daughter story. It was it's like, holy smoke, this is different from the Marvel version. I still haven't. Have you seen this new Conan book yet?
No.
I haven't either. I've got a bunch of them on hold for me at Gotham City, but everyone says it's really, really great, and I'm looking forward to that. Well, I'm keeping you up, and you've got the big show tomorrow and everything. So I'll see you. I'll stay on for maybe another 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna cut.
I'll see everybody. Thanks to the chat, Jackson, Roy Kirk, all that. We'll see you.
Okay, Jackson Roy Kirk says both meanings apply. A property requiring much care and expense and yielding little profit. 2, an object no longer of value to its owner, but of value to others. Something of little or no value. Yeah, but as far as where did it start, I don't know. I think I heard somewhere that it was about these white elephants on the set of Babylon and the movie Intolerance, but I don't know. We got anyone still watching? We got 20 people watching. Maybe I'll show a little bit more, and then, because my wife's working until 11 and I've got 57 minutes. Man alive. All right. So, T-Man, worldwide troubleshooter. He's basically Biden hired all those IRS agents that are armed, That's basically what he is. He's a tax man. You think, oh, T-Man means trouble man. He's like the tax man. That's what this is about. Interesting book. The Return of Mussolini. A lot of these stories are like World War II's coming back to haunt you, because it's like what you had to fight back 7 years before is like, we're still having to fight them. And then, okay, maybe even Hitler's still around. So, T-Man, worldwide troubleshooter. I have all these T-Mans because it's a very inexpensive book to buy, honestly. I have some Tom Corbett Space Cadet wonderful books that I got from Gotham City Comics. Now he doesn't have more of these. He bought an amazing collection. And long story, it's not bagged and boarded because I don't have any bags and boards that size, but one day I'll get them. This guy, maybe in his 40s, whatever, someone that was young in the 1990s, brings in a box and says, I want to sell these comics to you here at your store. And there's some good stuff. It's 1990s stuff from when I was a kid. And it's like, oh, that's not what you want to hear when you're a comic store owner, because that's so common. And I think there was the first Deadpool and everything in there. But anyway, it wasn't that exciting. And he says, well, I also have these boxes here of these comics that my mom had. And he opens the box, and it's just amazing stuff. The first thing he sees, and he says, "Well, I'll buy all of it." He didn't even look through it. Okay, so we're doing a live stream. This was last summer, and so I'm on there with him, with Kevin from Gotham City Comics, as he pulls all the it's one of the best live streams ever, as he pulls the comics out that belong to this guy's mother. And we see what it's John Wayne comics, just the Tom Corbett. There were a couple of Submariners from the early 50s. There was a Batman from the 50s, but mostly it was Funny Animal and Western. But a lot of them were in great condition, because this woman had interesting taste for a little girl. She was into Westerns, and or it could have been, a brother and sister's collection combined. But anyway, these comics had all come to this guy, and he didn't think they had any value. But that was what was really exciting in the buy. So he got all of them, and then Graphic Man came on the stream, and Graphic Man was picking out the Donald Duck comics, the Carl Barks and Walt Kelly issues, and I was saying, hold that one, put that one in my pile. And we got Jambo on, and I was like, okay, that one's Fiction House. I'd love to have it, but he's the guy that's got the big Fiction House collection, so let him have Fire Hair or whatever. And so we divvied the books up that we could, but we didn't get to fully go through it. But we all got piles to buy, right? And then this guy comes in and buys the entire collection. We thought it was just going to always be there, and we could just keep picking from this honey hole. But this guy that was going to resell them on eBay bought them all. And so we were kind of heartbroken, but realized, okay, but we got some good stuff. We at least got first pick, and I had 2 issues of John Wayne and the adaptation of North to Alaska and everything. And I was real happy. This is another book I got from that collection. Our Gang, of course, is the Little Rascals. Our Gang is what they were called when they were shown in the movie theaters. Little Rascals is what they were called when they started showing them on TV. So that's what that is. Yeah, buddy. Let's see. Tom and Jerry comics. Tom and Jerry is one of the older cartoons that kids today are aware of. Somehow Tom and Jerry have lasted. Kids today wouldn't know who Woody Woodpecker is. They don't know who Charlie Brown and Snoopy is for the most part, unless their parents make them watch the Christmas special. But Tom and Jerry have, maybe they've made some new Tom and Jerry. Something has caused kids today to be aware of their existence. Oh boy. Night Graphic Man says, let paint. Watching you guys go through that woman's collection is great, very satisfying. Yeah, it was neat. And it's like you have a lot of respect for the woman that collected that stuff, and then you just see how it was disposed of. It's like, that's my mom's stuff. It's probably a bunch of junk, but that's what I'm thinking a lot of younger people are going to think when they inherit collections of books from this era that I'm showing you. I just don't know what they're going to think of them, because nobody knows who Tom Mix is now, and very few people that are my age know who Tom Mix is. I'm an anomaly at age about to be 59 next month, but I don't know a lot about him. He's someone I think probably died around World War II. It's like Tom Mix, Hopalong Cassidy. That stuff was before my parents were born in the 20s, I think. Here's Tom Terrific. He was a staple on the Captain Kangaroo show. It was a Terry Toons cartoon. This is some reason there were like 3 copies of this at Duncanville Books in the $2 bin. This is the one I got that was in the best shape. It's a real nice Christmas card. I mean, it's not in very good shape. I mean, look at chunks out, but ooh. Yeah, that chunk is actually folded up. That's not good. But this is the original bag that it was in at the store, and it feels kind of grubby because you could tell this had been in their store for probably 20 years and didn't sell until I came along. It's just nobody was interested. Okay, so you mean I can get X-Men or I can get Tom Tom and Itchy the Monk? Nobody cares because I don't know why nobody cares. I'm a strange bird because I like the weird stuff. This book is if you show this book to anyone for whom Spanish is their first language, they laugh, and you think, why are you laughing at Tonto shooting the buffalo? It's because Tonto in Spanish means stupid, and it just looks like stupid magazines. Like, and it's oh well. It's hilarious. Trust me, it really is. Here's an issue of Top Cat, one of the greats. This is signed by the original artist. I got this autograph, Gary Richard Keene, who later drew the Keene Kids. Yeah, Gary Richard Keene. This adds value to the original signature of the artist. And here's Turok not going up against a dinosaur, but against one of those Nephilim guys. The fallen angels had children with human women that they found fair, and they were, there were giants in those days, the great men of renown, these giant Nephilim that apparently that same bloodline exists in the royal family today. That's what I hear on Rumble. Here's a really good condition copy of Two Gun Kid #3 that also came from that lady's collection. It's like, man, there was so much of this. We got a lot of it, but there was so much more, man. It's just, that stuff's probably all for sale on eBay now. And there was, what was it? What else was there? Was other stuff, man. I don't know. It's best not to even think about it. Best not to think about it. Yeah, I felt like I came across like a real, I was one talking that's like, you're the one that's the most drunk at a party and everyone else is just sitting around listening to you. Yeah. And it's like, you realize, oh man, I felt like I was doing too much talking. Okay, this is Two Gun Western #14. It presents well, but it's got problems with the staples, but well, it's better than not owning Two Gun Western #14. I mean, it's possible that could be 114, but there's a whole staple hole there, tear. It's probably 14. I don't know. Pre-code. I should put this in my EC box here. I've got a coverless Vault of Horror. Not sure the issue number, but and these Walt Disney books I probably should put in my Disney box, but they aren't there. So that's oh yeah, what's going on here, man? Gotham City Comics says Funny Animal and Western are very hard for me to sell here. All the kids want Venom and Deadpool. Yeah, I think they'd be hard to sell anywhere because Duncanville Books, they had prices of like $5, and sometimes they'd have $2 price tags on them. Now, when I was buying these from Kevin, he must have been either he was trying to be funny or he was scrounging for bags, reusing bags, because this one, I think I think I paid about $7 from it, but it's got a price tag that says $399.99. This is one of the things, or maybe I put it in a different bag he sent me. I don't remember, but anyway, I put it in this bag, and I think it's funny. But what's going to happen is something's going to happen to me, and my wife's going to go through my comics, and she's going to get real mad at me that I paid that much. But I didn't do it. If you're watching this sometime in the future, Cleo, because she's 13 years younger than me, so she's probably going to outlast me, man. So, I just noticed there's some coloring behind on the. You can barely notice it unless you're looking for it. They colored in the little flag there behind the word vacation. But the thing, anyway, hold on. The stuff all sold quickly on eBay. The customer who bought the 7 long back boxes came in today. Oh, okay. So he sold all of it. I wonder how much money he made with all that. Anyway, the cool thing about this cover is the hypnotizing wheels here. That's. I think it's meant to be. Make it look like it's moving. Anyway, this really doesn't have any comics in it. It's all like puzzles and stuff. It really is a puzzle book. So yes, indeed. That's some Davy Crockett comics. We're into the W's. This is my second box of Golden Age. The first box is going to start with the letter A. This is the Alamo. Early at the Alamo, the Alamo was like almost leveled. All this part, you can see old photographs. Okay, everything's backwards. This whole part was all off. The roof was gone. That's how it looked in the 1950s. They rebuilt the curvy part at the top to make it look a little bit more like it would have before the battle. But for years, it was just a wreck. This is, man, this is not good for a human being's back. What time is it? 10:18. Okay. Oh no, maybe this is the one that's the puzzle book. I don't remember. Donald Duck fun book. This is so that's cool. I'll have some comics tomorrow night. But I'm not gonna do a show about the comics I get in the mail tomorrow. I'll do it later on, maybe on the weekend, and show some because tomorrow I don't want to be competition for Graphic Man's debut Graphic Man show with special guest star Jimbo. That's tomorrow at 7. This I believe I've been told is the first cover appearance of Uncle Scrooge. I could be wrong. Or there's some comic collectors that dress as wrestlers, and they have like wrestling belts over their shoulders, and they have this wrestling persona while they present their comics. And one of them was like talking about, well, I think this is the first appearance of this guy. No, I think that issue is the first appearance. And the guy had a brilliant response. He says, I could be right. Instead of, usually if someone says, I could be wrong, this guy said, I could be right. And I thought, that's a brilliant way to communicate with people. That's good. I'm going to adopt that into my vernacular, whatever the word is, the way I talk. I could be right, Think positively, right? A pessimist would say, I could be wrong, but I think, but an optimist is, I could be right. That's the way you got to think, Yeah. My goodness gracious me. I'll finish this stupid box yet. before we go. That's what I'm going to do. So you can watch in the reruns tomorrow. Okay. This one's a little bit wonky. Well, this one is from Duncanville Books. This was a $2 book. And yeah, it's a little wobbly and everything. Whatever. Okay, here's the facsimile of Weird Mysteries. Kevin at Gotham City has this. I could have sworn I just saw it on his. So call him Gotham City Comics, Mesa, Arizona. If you want to put your phone number in the chat, if you're still watching, I would highly suggest that you call him up and get this, because these things sell out. They have low print runs. Who knows how low the print run? You saw those pulps, those pulp reprints. We made 200 copies. I don't know how many copies they're making of this, but I think this will be possibly go up in value, because nobody can afford the original unless they're in the Illuminati or something. This is Weird Science, and I got this for nothing, and it's in a bag that says $75. I did not pay. That's why whenever I present a comic to you and I'm holding it like this, and I think this is a bag I reused that Kevin sent me, because is that the way your price gun looks? I swear to you, Cleo, my wife, Cleo, if you're looking at this in the future, I did not pay $75 for this. Although maybe it's in this condition. I don't know. What would you say this is worth in this condition, which is awful condition, but it's got a Ray Bradbury story in it. And it should be in another box with my ECs. I think I got this in a Wounded Wonders pack from Lone Star Comics, where they had the covers not attached, all that. Here's one in better shape. One of the later ECs, Weird Science Fantasy, the Flying Saucer Report. And then I don't know if this came from that lady's collection or not, because Kevin at Gotham City had some Westerns. I think this was stuff he had before, like when I first met Kevin, and he had all these. He was desperate. He said, I put together a video showing all my Western comics. Could you show it to some of the people on the Four Color Fossils show that are into Westerns? He was thinking of, people like Charlton and Jambo, so they could see, because I can't sell them to anyone around here. So I think I did ask Micah if he could show it on one Four Color Fossils, maybe a couple of years ago. But yeah, I wound up going through his stuff and picking out ones, and this is one of them, I believe. Isn't that a great cover? That's so cool. Where are my John Wayne comics? Maybe they're under J. Would you put John Wayne under J or under W? I could. I thought I saw him in here, man. They're going to be in the other box, which is upstairs, so I will show them next time. I'm trying to look like a big shot showing these Golden Age comics, but I don't have many. I have 2 short boxes is where I keep all the old stuff, and some of it's fake. Some of these are facsimiles. This is it's just I've never been able to afford it, man. But Night Tiger shows how you can afford these older books on a tight budget. So I don't know. There's a great song by the Statler Brothers called "Whatever Happened to Randolph Scott." You got to listen. They have a lot of great songs about. There's one called "Do You Remember Then," where they're talking about things they remember from the 50s, and a lot of them are comic book related, some of them. But the song "Whatever Happened to Randolph Scott," and they're lamenting what's happened to the movie industry and how the old cowboy stars are gone and now everything's filled with smut and nudity on the screen. And that's a great song. If you've never heard it, search for it on Google, the Statler Brothers. This one's in wonderful shape. The colors are just beautiful on these Dells. You know, we still have 15 people watching. That's incredible. Gotham City says that stuff sold quickly on eBay. Okay, he already said that. Charlton 66 says, you never know about the future of Western comics. Collectors would balk at most romance comics. Now look at them. True. Condition is, whoa. That's a Higgy Pop line. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it could happen. There's no way for me to predict because I have always assumed that people out there, the masses, are pretty dumb. But now I'm starting to realize people are starting to wake up. Maybe I was wrong and I was always an elitist, but I swear I remember I went to see I've told this story before. I went to see Raiders of the Lost Ark with my mom because, man, I don't think I had a driver's license at that point. Right. And it was like, it was probably 2 months before it came out, or at least a month. It was a preview showing, one of those ones where you watch the movie and they watch the audience to gauge how they react. And I watched the movie and I loved it, but I understood what it was. I understood it was like an old movie serial. When I left and on the way home, I said to my mother, I said, that movie was great, but it's going to bomb because people aren't going to understand it. I just thought there's no way people could love that because I loved it. And people hate what I love. I just assumed that. And it turned out people loved it because it was great. And so I was wrong then, and I could be wrong. I'm always wrong. Or I could be right. I love that line. That was, where did I hear that, man? It was, oh, shoot. It was on, I think it was Comic Collector Geek out of Canada was talking to some other collectors and he has some friends that dress like wrestlers. And here's another one of those Western Roundup, but I don't know. I just thought it was a great line. Wild Bill Hickok. This is a great ad on the back. Come on over, Beck and the Blonde in room 307. Is this an appropriate ad on the back of a child's comic, I ask you? And here are the books that you can get. All 7 mystery novels, yours for only $1. Yes, I know it should be in a bag and board. Oh my gosh. What an interesting differences in language makes any auto repair job your meat, which I guess means your meat and potatoes, like helps you make a living, I guess. Or sometimes you learn these expressions from, like, let's say you read a Mickey Spillane novel from the late 40s or early 50s, and it's like got this tough guy, hard-boiled dialogue in it, and it's like it's interesting, it's like you learn how people talked, like rough people on the street talk back then. It's like I stopped into blah blah cafe to put a roof on my load, and it's like when you're in college and you're out drinking with the boys, and then you go to Denny's. It's open in the middle of the night to kind of sober up and eat the Grand Slam breakfast, before you go home, so you don't seem drunk to your parents. And it's, but I guess the Mike Hammer character in the Mickey Spillane novel was saying, I was going to put a roof on my load. The word sober up, the load being the drunkenness. It's like, wow. And there's so much of that in those Mickey Spillane books. Wild Bill Pig. Oh man, I didn't even show you. Look at this, man. Look at this cool character. It's Calamity Kate. You read about her in the history books, right? Fantastic. His name is Mort Leave. That's probably what he heard when he came in with his art samples to the Mort Leave. Get out of here with you. Not that it's bad. That's not bad art. I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry, Mort Leave. But how about Mort Lawrence? I bet Mort Lawrence and Mort Leave are the same guy. What do you think? I don't know. I like this art better than this. But everybody's named Mort in these. Maybe that was a common name back then. Here's Wild Western. Yeah. As I said, this is, you had, this is, where is it? Look, Marvel comic. They, it was called Timely, then Atlas, but this must have been right after they switched over to calling it Marvel. Wild Western number 11. I could probably look up Wild Western and look at all the pictures on mycomicshop.com and see about when they started calling it Marvel on the covers. I don't know. Oh, wait. Interesting. That was Wild Western number 11, right? Number 11. They're calling it Marvel. And number 38, see, they're calling it Atlas. So looks like they went back and forth. I don't know. What do I know? This one's in nice shape. This is once the code came along. This is Wild Western number 45. Looks a little bit like they're playing on the 3D craze to me, but I could be wrong. Kid Colt was, still being published when I was a kid. I think in reruns. This is a humor comic with Jack Davis cover. Yak Yak. Charlton. Who is Gene Autry? Is a great song. Oh, by Johnny Cash. Along with Hoppy, Gene, and Me by Roy Rogers is great too. Oh, cool. Thank you for telling us that. Those are Choice Western funny books. They're very nice, great collection. Yeah, I what I did is Kevin at Gotham City had all these boxes, several boxes. Picture went away for at least on my screen. We got on Facebook chat and I was looking and I was asked, okay, pull that one. That one looks. I was buying them by how cool the covers looked, and that's how all that worked. Okay, I think that's the end of that box. Yes, indeed. Okay. Now, shit. All right, so I've done about 4 hours tonight. The other day I did about 7, 8 hours. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So I think I've used 12 of my 20 hours on StreamYard in this. I'll do a canned show this weekend. Maybe I'll go live. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of time. The only reason I'm on right now is my wife's working, but she's about to be off. Okay, I'm trying to remember. Did I brush my teeth after dinner? Yes, I did. Okay, I fed the dog. What else do I need to do? I got to put these Doc Savage books back up. So let's go do that. Because if I leave them here on the floor, bad things will happen to them. Animal related things. I've been wanting to show those books to Micah, so just show him the pulp. And now I've got to go through my paperbacks, and he's been really getting into collecting paperbacks lately, and I've got to do some shows where I go through paperbacks, and I know it won't appeal to that many people probably, but you know, if I do a show just for a few people, that's all right. Look at this thing I've had since I was a little kid. My wife hates it. It's half monkey. It's half giraffe, monkey, and what else is it supposed to be? Something from around 1969, 1970 that I've had with me all these years. There was a guy a few years ago, well, probably 10 years ago, that was making these. He took the campus cuties from Marx and put monster heads on them, and my wife got a bunch of them with the Frankenstein head on. Of them with the mummies, different campus cuties. When I was 5 and living in Germany, 4 or 5, right? We were in like these it's like an apartment in base housing, right? And so workmen would come and they'd be working outside, and I would hold up stuff and show the workmen like I was doing a TV show. And it's like they would kind of watch, and oh, that's cool. Look at this little kid showing that. So, thank you for letting me fulfill a childhood dream. I think I'm going to take this dog for a late night walk, which see what people are saying. Kevin says, romance comics are very tough to sell as well. Maybe one person a year would come in and ask. Yeah, I mean, we think they're valuable, but there's tons of stores out there that still have them for $2 each because they haven't gotten the memo that they're popular with about 30 old men, that some of which have money, that have stores or just saying, oh, that's just never going to sell. I think there's one person in 1,000 that gets excited. I think most of the people that like this stuff you're on YouTube. We're the target audience, because if you take they're looking for romance comics and they call enough stores asking for them, then all these stores say, hey, you know, they talk to other store owners. Yeah, someone's been calling me too about romance. It's the same guy. And then they think, oh, there's a big danger happens. I've talked about before. You know, if you have enough people on your show, create an whole market. How do you do that? You can convince people, hey, that, you know, that anything is, it's just like Mark Twain, you know, and Tom Sawyer, you know, it's like, hey, this is so much fun painting this fence. And pretty soon all these kids are paying him to help to paint his place. Their apple. So I don't even understand what I'm saying because I got one bar. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Watch Traffic Man tomorrow night.